Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Geek Tropology. Today we're doing a chill stream because why the hell not? It's the end of the year, everything is going crazy, and we can find calmness in crazy. You just need to look hard enough or be really, really high, and we can do both. So let's go. And by the way, I always say that I stream for nobody, and that's literal because nobody's watching. So what the
But we
hell?
don't
Let's talk
care.
about anything. Yeah,
We're still going to talk anyway, buddy. We're hanging out
I'm
and
with
chatting.
I'm here with that 70s rock fan, Brian.
How are you, brother?
I'm good, my friend. It's been too long since we've done this.
Hell yeah.
I think I might be right in saying that you were the first stream I ever appeared on. Your channel may have been the first live stream I ever appeared on. I know it was on Latino Slants for about 5 minutes,
Hmm.
but I think you might have been the first. So you're to
Yeah.
blame. Thank you. And everyone in the world, YouTuber, can blame you for encouraging me.
Hey, that's awesome. But that was on Progressive Park. I miss doing
Mm-hmm.
Progressive Park that much. Even Jet is appearing once again. I think I will try to bring Progressive Park again. But also, I have not been doing so much with the channel because I found out that what I really, really enjoy is editing videos.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I started editing the videos for Midnight Edge, and before that, I was doing the small videos for Midnight Edge Espanol and everything.
Mm.
But I started thinking, what is the part that I like the most? Talking in the microphone, talking in front of the camera, or doing the background stuff. And I found out that doing all the small, crazy shit that you can pull, that is what I actually like. So using After Effects just to move things around and give a sense of storytelling through the visuals. Yeah,
Yeah. And were you doing that kind of thing before you started doing it on YouTube? Was that something you were into anyway, like making videos, or did you just really get into it because of YouTube?
no, I actually started doing videos. Okay, I'm a software developer, but a lot of what I do, most of what I do, is in the field of marketing, especially web based marketing.
Okay.
So I will go for social media, or I will go for something like web development.
Mm.
But there's times where people ask for, in this web page we want to have this video going big and changing in sizes and everything, and or we want to have this video that we use for the corporate something a long
Mm.
time ago, but we need to cut this amount or this scene or something like that. So I started dabbling into video editing, and also I had a girlfriend at the time that is a digital animator, that she
Ah.
actually wanted to work for Disney, and she wants to work for companies on Canada now.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Was she a digital animation or a digital animator? Because those are two different things.
Was on digital animation. Animator is not the person that does animation.
Yeah, no, no, you were. No, I was going to say if she was a digital animation, it means you created her
Oh, no, no,
for
no, no.
your own
She is a
purposes.
digital animator. Okay,
That was
but
a poor attempt at a joke.
no, she's actually really good at what she does. She's just, we had our differences and we have a son, so I cannot disparage her so
Of
much.
course, of
Yeah,
course.
but
Yeah,
I
it's
have,
funny. It's funny
yeah.
because when I was a very experienced public speaker and was great at making presentations and writing stuff for
Mhm.
decades. But I'd never really got into making videos. And I'd done a lot of DJing, radio and live in the past and stuff like that. I was good at public speaking. Never made a video. Didn't know which software that you would use to do it, other than some very crude PowerPoint stuff.
Mhm.
So I didn't really start it until I got into all this, and now I find, like you, I absolutely love doing it. It's time consuming, but I love doing it, and I've learned so much, and there's so much more I want to learn. I have found it fascinating. That journey of, okay, I'm sitting here now and I got this piece of software and I want to talk about a movie. So what do I do?
Yeah. Okay, I had a plan way before all this YouTubing when I was with this girl, right? She showed me how to use After Effects and a program called Puppet Tools. It was an extension for After Effects that you could use to actually rig character and use animations and everything to make it move. So I started developing a wolf that will talk on videos about video games.
Yeah,
And yeah, this was 2014 or something like that. And I
After
had that
Effects.
plan. Yeah, it was kind of crazy because I will have to animate a lot, but with the puppet tools you can, you set pins and do the movement and everything, and you could actually make the character do a lot of cool stuff. But I didn't had the tech, and I didn't had a lot of time. Then when I was ill and I could not work at all,
Mm.
someone started a trend that I will say was a lot near of what I wanted to do than anything else, and it's VTubers.
Oh yeah.
VTubers are exactly that. Are just animated characters talking about the stuff that they like or the stuff that they do, and generate videos without actually appearing on camera.
Mm.
But that niche grew instantly and is already too full and almost dead.
Everyone's
So
doing it. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think, and my character is not that good to be honest. So I don't think I could bring that back. But I started dabbling in doing videos that way. Later it was Gary, the one that said open a channel, talk about common sense, and my common
Mm.
sense and the common sense of a lot of people are not the same. Let's be honest. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the stuff that was going on at the moment. It seemed like it will be a revitalization of culture, and I thought, well, I can talk about the good stuff and how to bring it back and everything. And then 2020 happened and everything went to shit, and we are in the wokest times ever.
Yeah, if Shakespeare was to be writing this today, he'd say it was the worst of times. It was the wokest of times, or was that wasn't Shakespeare? That was Dickens, Charles Dickens.
It was Dickens,
The
and I
worst of
think,
times, the wokest of
yeah,
times is what he'd say now.
yeah. By the way, Ironcaster, brother.
Ironcaster, good to see you, buddy. Um, yeah, making videos is a funny thing because I like doing it and I've learned a lot about it. I know I could be a lot better. We all could. You give it
Mhm.
time. Time is a problem. But I find that I lavish a lot of time on making a video and I'm really proud of it. I think that was a great video. And it maybe only gets 40 people watching it. Whereas if I do a live stream, I might get 300 people, you know, which is a shame because I think making a really nice 10-minute video that's got some great visuals in it and transitions and I always write a script
Mhm.
and take a lot of care with that. I think it's a really nice thing to do, and yet they just doesn't seem to have the traction that you would want, and I don't know whether
Yeah.
that's YouTube. I don't know whether it's because I'm just crap. I don't know what it is, but they never get the attention I would like them to get, even if I promote them. And I don't know. Is it? Yeah, and it's a lot of time to lavish. To take a day to make a video that's 10 minutes long, when I probably could be planning for my next live stream and make that even better. So I don't know. That's probably why I probably need someone to make them for me. I'll just write the script.
Yeah, the algorithm is kinda fickle that way. Uh,
It's
th-
fecal, that's for sure. It's
yeah.
fickle and fecal.
Oh,
I know.
yeah. That word is so complicated because sounds a lot like
I know.
fecal. Yeah.
It works
Uh,
both ways though. I like the fact that you say it fecal because it sounds like fecal as in shit, and that's
yeah.
the algorithm is shit.
But yeah,
But
it's
it's a blast. The thing I would like to be better at, which I'm I'm trying to get better at is to be able to create snappy things like bumpers for or avatars or little video intros that are kind of snappy and slick. I've not got the aesthetic senses to know what's good and what isn't good. So the stuff I use to introduce my videos is just a basic. Here's a piece of free guitar music and my avatar.
Mhm.
Pretty much that's it, because I tried other stuff and I thought, well, that looks crap. Whereas I'd love to be able to do all these fantastic slick intros. Now look at Poly Latino Slant, um,
Oh yeah,
or Culture
jefecito.
Casino, who's got Grant Gregory and
Hmm.
stuff. Those intros that they have to his videos look great. I
Yes.
wish I could do that, and that's the thing I haven't been able to figure out how to do yet.
There's a bit of a formula. I think there's people that have mastered it, that are really, really good at it. That is at the beginning of the video, the first seconds. I think is like the first 20 seconds. You need to actually say the content of your video in a way
Mm,
that can interest the person without wasting a single word. So when you go
mm,
to anything like an intro or anything that must be between 10 seconds, 5 and 10 seconds, the person doesn't lose any interest. And through the rest of the video, you need to keep the language in a way that never sounds like you are giving an exit. So you never say things like, um, for example, you are talking about a topic and you want to change to the next, and you go concluding this. That concluding this, that normally will be
it
just
shuts it
we are
down.
changing topic in the mind of the audience. It means you need to log off because this video is over. Even though it's half a
Mm,
video or just starting the video, the language already told the person that they can disconnect their mind from what they are watching.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, there's a formula that is hugely influential on how the system works and how people actually interact with the video.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
when
I don't feel too unconfident about the content of the video. Let's say it's one. I did a video the other day about Korean movie The Roundup, um, and I think the script's pretty good. I think what I lack is the snappy intro that's going to grab someone into it
Mhm.
and say, "My God, this looks slick and professional." I just have my little 20, 15, 10 second, and then, hey, everybody. Whereas that's kind of like, I don't think that grabs people, necessarily. So that's the
Yeah, I
bit.
get you.
So, but I'm not unproud of them. I mean, some of the videos I've made, I'm extremely proud of. Probably too much. It's probably too unhumble about them.
Mhm.
And I could look at and I've got hundreds of them up there now, which I didn't realize after 2 years of doing it. And some of them I could look at and say, well, there's one about the band of Blasters. That's a great video I made there. I'm really proud of that one. Then there's others I look at and go, nah, that was a bit rough.
Yeah, I get you.
But it's fun. And I've learned so much about that. Now I'm learning an awful lot about making memes and using Reface and all these other apps and doing some really good memes. Not, uh, I don't think that necessarily is anything to do with my channel. That's just me participating in other people's fun, like Comics Division or whatever. Um, doesn't really promote me in any way. Which
Mhm.
is, I'm here for fun anyway. I'm not. I've never imagined that one day I'd become some kind of YouTube star and PewDiePie level whatever. I'm here for some fun, but I'd like to be good at what I do, and I think I've got some videos I would point at and say, no, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
The other problem, of course, that for me is that I'm never going to hit the algorithms because I don't really talk about the current thing much. So let's say it was, I don't know, slagging off The Witcher Blood Origin. I'm not going to hit that because I'm not even going to do it. I'm not going
Mhm.
to look at it. I'm not going to watch it. I don't want to waste my remaining breath on the planet Earth talking about that crap. So I don't bother. So I'm not going to hit those algorithms. Um, I can do it on other people's shows or on live streams. I'll talk about it, but I won't make a video about that. I'd rather spend the day I have making a video about something I love, which may be something old. You know, like me.
Yeah, I think there's a different layer system for that. That you have basically the channels that are content that you need to watch ASAP. You need to watch that moment because the information may change drastically or
Mm,
because it will be no longer relevant. That's what the algorithm promotes as the first things that you are
mm,
watching. What actually will happen with the videos that are not of that kind is that they will get into a passive recommendation system. So if people are interested in this topic and the video is categorized for that topic, it will slowly be recommended to people throughout
mm.
time. So there's videos that you will never think will catch on that a year later or 2 years later go
Yeah.
completely
Well,
crazy.
isn't
Yeah.
that interesting? Because I've just had in the last few days a bunch of people watching and commenting on a video I did at least a year ago about Scottish band Teenage Fan Club.
Mhm.
Video buried in the mists of my back catalogue, and all of a sudden a bunch of people watched it and started commenting on it, which was great. But why, I don't know. Why it came up, I've no idea. But yeah, Ironcaster. I will hate watch and destroy any Disney remake of the Mighty Ducks, which ruins it, and of course they will ruin it. But that would be hate watch. I could destroy that. So maybe I'll save my hate watching for just very specific things.
Oh, I'm still waiting for somebody to go. We are remaking Dodgeball.
Oh fuck! Don't, please don't, please
You
don't.
know what? I
That
want
would
them
be a
to do
bold
it.
move, Cotton. Let's see how it works out.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see, for instance, if they say they are remaking Porky's Revenge of the Nerds or
Animal
some
House.
Animal House, I will really be interested. I will
Yeah.
actually pay the ticket just because I know it will be either so flamboyantly
Mm.
gay, and I mean bros
Aye.
with a pink dress,
It'd
something
be like
like that.
Bros, except even gayer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If that was at
Or
all possible.
yeah, it will be so crazy over the top, self-indulgent that I will still have a laugh because I will be honest. I watch some of the crazy ultra woke cinema because it's hilarious. It's actually properly hilarious.
Yeah, and I wish I could take that attitude, but I think maybe it's my age because I will be 60 in February, and I don't know how much time I've got left on the planet, so I'm not sure I want to spend 2 hours watching some piece of shit that I know I'm going to hate, even if it is hilarious afterwards.
Oh, I get you totally. There's a couple of things where I cannot control myself. For example,
Mm,
anime. When I was a kid, anime was something that you will sometimes try to download via dial-up. That's absolute craziness. But most of the time, I will go
mm.
to video pirated video stores here in Ecuador, where, by the way, I still have that story about one of the places. It was near my school, my high school,
Uh-huh.
where the old lady that attended that place will recommend you porn. She had a box of pirated porn DVDs
Well,
that she will hide in a corner.
don't you think it's better that way, that a responsible adult should recommend good porn as opposed to just leaving it to yourself to find out the wrong stuff?
Yeah, I was like 12 at that age, too. So, but is Ecuador nobody bat an eye? She will take out the box, and the students will start looking through porn and buying 5 DVDs for $5
Oh,
of
jeez.
crazy stuff, and she will go like, "Yeah, you will like this one," and we were like, does she watch every single thing that she gets?
You
How
know,
does she know?
yeah, exactly. Well, maybe she starred in some of them when she was younger. Who knows? But not all old people are straight laced, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but
There's plenty kinky old people.
dude, this, by the way, this was an era before the internet was really something that you will have at home all the time.
Mm.
You'll get prepaid cards for a couple of hours of internet connection through one of the providers here, through the phone line. So you will actually spend a lot more trying to get anything from the internet than just going and buying
Mm.
pirated anything.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm old enough to remember the days before VHS when if somebody wanted to see porn, they either had to go to a cinema that showed it,
mhm.
and there were certain cinemas, particularly in big cities like London, or they had to buy it on like 8 millimeter home
Oh
movie type stuff.
no!
8 millimeter or 16 millimeter porn. Not saying I had any because I was a kid, so I didn't have any of that. I do remember once going to a cinema that pre VHS that had that kind of thing. It was a bunch of guys out getting drunk, and we said, "Oh, let's go do that." Turned out to be a big boring piece of crap. Well, we had a lot of fun laughing at it, but but it was just the whole thing was just so sleazy. So that was the old days. Now, of course, you can't move without tripping over porn in some form or other. It was first it was VHS, then it was DVD, then it's in the internet, and now
Mhm.
it's just everywhere. But then, yeah, the good old days. You wanted that, you had to go to a cinema.
Yeah. By the way, I think two porn cinemas here in my city that are
Mm.
still open. I don't know how they are still open. You have cell phones, common
Maybe
people.
what's his name? What's that actor that was in Mystery Men?
Oh,
The
the one.
spleen.
Uh, I thought you were talking about. God damn, I forgot the name of the
Yeah,
character
but
on the United States. The really
yeah,
Pee Wee, Pee Wee
yeah,
Herman.
maybe
Yeah.
he's the guy that's frequenting them. I don't know.
No, the fun thing is, those are the only cinemas that during the COVID lockdowns never closed.
Didn't close.
Cinema closed. The porn cinema didn't.
That is funny. Oh, that is very funny. Yes, it's
Yeah,
well,
it's
it's what you'd consider a vital public service, I guess. It's like a hospital or a police station. Porn cinemas must stay open
yeah,
because
but
there's no way people could get it at home.
how did? Oh, okay. I remember. How did we get into this? Okay.
It's a chill
Go,
stream. We're gonna
yeah.
go all. We're gonna go like this.
Oh, yeah. Going and buying pirated DVDs. I will buy a lot of anime, and I was working a bit, so I will have enough money to start buying complete seasons or complete series of anime.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, because I didn't know what the hell I was buying, I will buy something like Spice and Wolf, that is still one of my favorite animes of all time.
Okay.
Or I will buy something like Popotan. Popotan, for those who don't know, is a Christmas anime about a couple, no, about three sisters. One is 10 years old, the other is 15 years old, and the other one is 20 something years old, right? That will go in this Christmas store that can travel through time and space and dimensions, kind of like the TARDIS, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a Christmas store that will appear wherever Christmas is supposed to need their help.
Mm.
And in their travels, they find a small kid that loves Christmas, and all of the sisters, remember I told the ages, have sex with that guy.
All of them.
All of them.
All three of them. Okay, because one of them was decidedly young.
Yeah, that helps them to find the meaning of Christmas. That is a tampon flower. How do you call the ones that you blow and go
Bible black.
into? Yeah,
Sorry. Bible
going to a
Black. So I'm talking to Ironcaster. Bible Black. Sorry, Geek. Sorry, Pablo. Go ahead.
how are those flowers called that you blow and the small fluffy stuff will fly away?
Bubbles, like
No, lion something. The fluffy pompon like flowers that look like a bunch of just fluff that you blow and will.
like candy, the candy floss.
No, flowers. Flowers
Oh,
like yeah.
um, I don't know. I'm sorry, mate.
Well,
I'm feeling
anyway,
decidedly old at this point. Dandelions.
dandelions. There you go, dandelions.
Ironcaster's got
That
it. I know it now.
that's
Oh
exactly
yeah,
the
the scourge of the garden.
yeah.
Yes.
The meaning of
Yeah.
Christmas. This sister find is that flower, and it's a really really stupid anime, but it exists. You can actually find it.
Well, could you remind me the name of it again? You said the name
Popotan.
P
P
O
O P O T A N.
Popoean.
Yeah, that is actually the name of the show because what the sisters are looking is a popotan
Oh,
flower.
got
Yeah,
it.
and then they
Yep.
found out that they were misreading, and it was not popotan. Is what it was tampopo. That is the name of the flower
Okay.
of the dandelion
I
on
found
Japanese.
in IMDb. Yeah, you see
Is
this. This would be an example years ago of when in the UK and I guess when I moved to Canada 25 years ago or 20 years ago.
Mhm.
This is why people thought anime was just synonymous with porn.
Yes.
Anime equals porn was their view.
Oh, there's a lot of that, but I found those kind of series. I found Lemon Angel Project that is also really stupid, but actually, um, kinda was ahead of the time
Mm.
because they did a lot of critique on at that point Vocaloid, like Katsume Miku and that, and the way that they may replace real artists on the future.
Yep.
And now we have artificial intelligence run VTubers that are doing exactly that. So basically, whatever they were saying on that anime came to fruition, but that anime was absolute garbage.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
I,
and the thing I would look at
Mhm.
something like that, and forgive me, I would look at Popotan and I'd say that's not for me.
The issue is that I had no way to knowing what was in the disc. I had enough money to buy random anime, so I will buy
And it was
I will
yeah.
buy it on bulk. I will actually buy 10 DVDs or 12 DVDs depending on what I was getting, and I will, because I spent all my money on that, I will have to watch every single one of them. I will not waste my money. So
Well,
now I have a
of course.
yeah, I have a taste for garbage anime because anime is
Some of it would
something.
be good. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between garbage media on the US that is normally just garbage. It doesn't have anything really to say. It's not the fantasy of a crazy Japanese guy that wants to make an anime
Yeah.
about feet.
I
Is it's just
yeah.
we need money and that's it. In Japan, in anime, they will go with whatever crazy stuff they can think of,
Oh,
and they will run
absolutely.
with it.
And they do have a very specific worldview in Japan and a specific philosophy, which you could see in a show that I love and just finished watching the second season Alice in Borderland.
Mhm.
The philosophical elements of it, where their characters are discussing certain aspects of relationships or ways to get something done, it's very different from Western discussions.
Mhm.
You know, I find it fascinating the way they approach the world and navigating through it, particularly in Japan. I think it's similar in many other Asian countries, but Japan is the most, I guess, because it was very isolated for a long time. They've developed their own sensibilities,
Mhm.
and sometimes it's hard to understand what they're getting at because it seems kind of random things that they stress as important. But Not knocking it because I love it too. I mean, I love Japan and Japanese stuff. Just on a side note, these Popotan did feature an actress called Anna Kummer.
Ooh,
So
nice name.
Cummer. And she's actually Canadian. So
Dude.
Anna Kummer. And she was in Mobile Suit Gundam, amongst
Yeah,
other
I have
things.
found some actresses from really renowned Japanese anime that the first work was either doing porn or doing voice work for hentai.
Yeah.
And that's how they got their name and become actually really huge.
Well,
And
I don't know about this one, but her name is Anna Kummer, and she's quite nice.
well, she's a comer indeed.
She is. I wouldn't say
Yep.
no, but she's actually not. If she's hanging out in Calgary, she's not that far from me. Maybe she'll be at a Calgary con sometime. Oh, she's in Canadian shows like Heartland. So
Oh,
yeah, interesting. But yeah, um, look at the stuff she's been in: Strawberry Shortcake, Care Bears, My Little Pony, which has always been a very suspect show in my opinion.
I will tell you this. There's one of the actresses for My Little Pony. Her name is the name of Raven on Teen Titans. I forgot her name just for a second. It's not Lauren Faust. Lauren Faust is the show creator. Uh, the, 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 the,
I
the,
can't
the,
remember. I'm sorry. Can't help you with that one.
well, is the voice of Twilight Sparkle on My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. She actually got with fans of the show and did a short for YouTube that is
Mm-hmm.
actually really sexual with an animation of her character on My Little Pony.
Ironcaster says Tara Strong.
Tara Strong. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Tara Strong.
And greetings to Bilby Mello, if you're still with us,
Hey,
Bilby.
brother.
And Dandelion Wine. I've actually had Dandelion Wine. It wasn't bad. But I hate dandelions. As
Sounds
anybody who owns a
interesting.
lawn knows, dandelions are just the most evil piece of shit ever. And now, of course, we're not allowed to use chemicals to get rid of them. So it's all got to be done manually. So Tara Strong is the name we're looking for.
Yeah,
Let's have a
let me
look.
see if I can find that short. Maybe in my other
There's a Tara
account.
Strong and a Tara Strong. I wonder if it's the same woman.
No, Tara Strong is with A.
Yeah.
Is the proper one. Oh, I think I have it in my
She's Canadian
other.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, quite cute.
and actually, is a great voice actress. If
Oh, Arkham
you ever
City.
go for,
She did Harley Quinn in
yep,
Arkham City. Yeah. The games I know. I don't know so much about a lot of the anime, but the games I know more.
oh, on games, and she actually has been on feature films.
Yeah, and that's why I'm kind of scrolling down to have a look. A lot of them have been in the same stuff. My Little Pony, World of Warcraft, Shadowlands, Rick and Morty. Yeah, so she's been in a few things. Yeah,
Hmm. Oh, she
Star
has
Wars:
been
Old
in a lot.
Republic. Yeah,
But the thing is that she's actually really cool. She can actually enjoy being part of a community. So she has. Okay, I found the video.
let me stop sharing. We
And
can.
by the way, this is the official voice of Twilight Sparkle. This is the official voice of a pony. This is the animation of that pony.
Hmm.
And we will watch this. Okay?
Hmm.
Yeah, let me. There you go.
Welcome to my bedroom. Don't think that me letting you in here is an invitation for any funny stuff. I mean, not that I have a problem with funny stuff.
And by the way, if you want to do this kind of stuff because you are still on contract, you need to run it by the people doing the show. So she got permission to do this.
You see, there's nothing wrong with that. That's sexy. Or is
Yeah,
it the Spinal Tap version sexist?
the
What's wrong
fun
with the
stuff.
cover? It's sexy. No, it's sexist.
Yep. The fun
Smell the
stuff
glove.
is that they were actually trying to recover from at the beginning of this series. There was a huge scandal because a lot of male people over 20 will watch the series, and they were obviously not the target
I
audience.
wonder why.
Yeah, so there was a lot of push against the series and everything, and somehow they allowed this. And this was at the beginning of the series, at the beginning of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it was a bunch of nerds because the series has between all the stuff, recreation of uh, the ceremony at the end of episode 4 of Star Wars,
Mm.
frame by frame recreated but with ponies. They had a full episode of Tribbles. They have a Doctor Who pony. So it's a really, really nerdy series, and the topics sometimes were really adult. So it was the first 2 or 3 seasons was really interesting to watch because it
Mm.
was a really consistently good series, not just a kid series. It was a good series. But then they started to wokify it because obviously parents were against a lot of stuff, and in the fandom there started to be a huge contingent of LGBTQ people.
Yeah.
So because of that, they changed the show. They make it hyper woke, and they killed it. They
It kills it.
absolutely
Yeah.
destroyed the fandom. They lost almost every single person that was unironically enjoying the show
Funny
because
that,
it
isn't
was,
it?
yeah.
Funny that. Isn't
And
that
this,
weird how that happens? That's very weird.
by the way, this is 2014, so this is before all
Yeah.
the wokifying on
Oh, but
Hollywood.
that stuff's been here for a while. I mean,
Yep.
it only increased in its fierce concentration in the last 3 or 4 years. But woke has been with us for a long time, and it's subtly invaded shows for a long time, and then not so subtly. It's that you can look back 20 years and see the beginnings of that stuff creeping in. So,
Mhm. But
but
you
it's
saw
not.
the kind of sexual content that they were willing to do because the customers were on the range that they will enjoy that kind of stuff. They were adult males, no woke,
Mm,
no mentally unstable, just people that like good content.
yeah.
So they will take those kind of risks, and later the series became a complete disaster and is one of the first, I will say, is near ground zero for the awakening.
The
And
awakening. I like that. Yeah.
yeah, and everything started to go downhill after that. It started in cartoons. uh, it was a huge push against kids, and no, it's everywhere. Basically,
Mm.
everything that you see. But Hasbro took a lot of damage because of that, because the pony toys sold like crazy.
Well, I remember them. Yeah, they were everywhere. My Little Pony stuff was everywhere in
Mhm.
stores.
And you know what they changed when, or to what franchise they changed when My Little Pony started to go downwards?
I don't
Marvel.
know. Ah, okay.
And now Marvel is costing them money. So every single franchise that has been gone woke, you can see the trend on toys and you can see how it dies.
Well, toys are dead. Yeah, it's. I was in a Walmart today, and the shelves were just full of shit that nobody's buying.
Hmm.
And it's already. In fact, and let's just take Wakanda Forever as an example. This is anecdotal. This is just what I've seen. I couldn't state what it's like everywhere, but in the Walmart nearest us, it's a fairly small town I live in. Before the movie was even out, the merchandise for Wakanda Forever was already on the clearance shelves in Walmart.
Dude.
Already, before the movie was even out, it was on the clearance shelving. So I think they just put it straight on there.
Mhm.
because they know nobody wants it. And those shelves remain full of shit. The only place you're going to see that, well, you'll see where it ends up. It'll end up in surplus stores. I mean, you've picked up a number of things in surplus stores that you used to show in your streams, hilarious stuff. But that's where that shit ends up, and still nobody buys it. That
There
stuff
was
will
a
end, they'll melt that shit down in the end.
Yeah, there was a time when I found a glitch on a toy store where basically they will have almost all the names of a brand of toys or of a line of toys, starting with the franchise that it belongs. So an Star Wars toy will say Star Wars something something something. Yep. And they had no image to compare what they were selling. And everything that they used was this barcode on a sticker. So I learned how to take the sticker out of the box, and I will use the stickers of
Piece
for
of shit
example,
that
on Star
nobody
Wars,
wants.
the normal figures, and swap it for the stickers of the ships, because these assholes will actually have the really cheap toys
Yeah.
high on the shelf, and the really pricey toys down in a way that small kids will take them from the shelves, maybe damage the package that already makes you obligated to buy it as a parent, because well, your kid is damaging a toy, or they will just start a feed so they can get the toy because it's what they can get. So obviously the kids will go for what
Well,
is
you know,
nearest, and what is nearest is the priciest
the
stuff.
expensive stuff. You know what I would do though, Pablo, if it was
Mhm.
my kid? I'd say to them, you know what? Just keep my kid in return. I'll leave you the kid. I'm not paying for that. I'll leave you the kid. Fair swap.
No, I did that for. I remember when episode 8 was about to drop on cinemas, that I did that for every single ship on a shelf.
Wow.
So they must have lost a lot of money, but
Keep it up because I do want to see all that shit I want to see Hollywood bankrupted. I want to see all the
yeah,
companies that support their shit bankrupted. I want them to suffer badly. As some kind of, you know, the word Schadenfreude. You
mhm.
know, I want them to suffer ironically for what they've done.
Yeah. To be
I
honest,
love it
yeah.
when they see headlines, you know, Hollywood loses 500 billion. Not enough. Keep going. Keep going until you're all destitute and living on the street. And then
I
I'll
actually
point at
agree.
you and
Yep.
laugh. Actually, give me 30 seconds. I'll be
Mhm.
back. Vamp. Just vamp.
Okay, bumping. But yeah, a lot of stuff that you will, and this is a trick that toy stores will do, and even grocery stores. If you ever use the carts on a grocery store and you find out that the cart leans a bit to one side, so you actually need to drive it with more attention, that is fully intentional. That is part of the marketing of the store. They set up the priciest, most useless stuff at the beginning of the store with the vegetables, and they rig the carts so the cart will lean to one side or another. So you actually have to pay attention to what you have around, and you will get tired really easy of being on the store, so you will buy the pricier stuff from the first shelves. Is the system is rigged against you on the stores. So whenever you pick a card on a store and it leans left or right, and you have to move it all the time to avoid contact with the products on the store, that's intentional. They are tricking you into buying.
Yeah. I had to get up because of my back and
Oh
walk
yeah,
around for 30 seconds. However, I don't buy a lot of toys. I don't have much in the way of toys. I used to have years ago, and I wish I'd kept them all. The stuff I had in the 70s, I could shoot myself for not having it now. But I did buy this today because it was $3. Uh, and
dude, that's awesome.
I normally don't like giving money to Marvel or Disney, but this is the Christmas ornaments because they're all the Christmas shit's on sale now. $3 for a Star Lord and a Groot. I thought that could look nice somewhere. So
That's
it
really
was
crazy
$3.
good.
So.
I got myself a He-Man. It was the one that
I'm
you
sure
will
you
get.
did, but
Yeah.
phrasing.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
The one you will get for $12 on the US. I got it on for 20 in a sale here in Ecuador, but it was worth it. Is basically the same sculpt as the He-Mans from the 88 release, but with articulations on the arms and the legs, so it's more possible. Because let's be honest, the original 88 He-Man was a bunch of garbage. It will fall off the shelf if you try to keep it standing or posing with the blade or anything.
Pretty
But
cheap.
this one actually poses really good. It's a really good toy, and it was considerably cheap. And it's the only thing, the only toy that I thought I will buy for myself during Christmas. Then I got a $3 Chinese alien thingy that
Right, good.
was really really cool. Actually, later I will show it.
Sure.
But you know what? My best friend is coming to Ecuador from the United States,
Cool.
and I have been saying for years, when he comes, he needs to help me to purchase a Nintendo Switch so we
Okay.
can play video games once the Wii U stops having internet service. So I had some money because everything that I do internationally, I normally use him to get the money because his PayPal also is in the United States, doesn't lose money, and he can send me the money easily and enters with a figure that actually saved me taxes. So it's
That's
it's
good.
a win-win-win-win-win.
Hey, buddy, I'd love to come down and visit you one day. So
Oh,
you
for
never
sure,
know.
man. Dude,
Could
you
happen. I'd
can
love
stay
to.
here.
No, I'd love to come down. I've never been to South America. I've never been to Ecuador. So I would love that deeply. So one of these days it's going to happen. So I'll take these out. There you go.
Oh hell yeah!
Little
If you
stuff.
come to Ecuador, we can go to some of my favorite places in this country, and some of them are here in my city
I'd love
because
to do that, mate.
this city is crazy, and I mean this is one of the darkest, craziest places you can walk around, and it's so colorful that you will
Yeah,
never
you live in
notice.
the capital, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
But also you have Salinas that is on the coast. That is, ooh, that Groot is that
They're
Groot.
well made, these. These are solid
Yeah.
toys, these little Hallmark pops. But yeah, that's so Salinas, yeah?
Salinas, you have Tena that is basically the rainforest. So from there you can go into a river and go to Misawayi. You can actually go to the proper Amazonas River if you follow the
I'm
main
not
river
going
on
to get eaten
Tena.
alive by mosquitoes, am I? Because I hate bugs.
Oh, in the rainforest you need something to protect
Oh, yeah.
against
Bugs love
mosquitoes
me.
and against huge ass ants. And I mean, is over a centimeter and a half, and their bite takes pieces out of you. Those
Well,
fuckers are incredible.
you're making it sound really attractive.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. That's just part of the fun. Seeing the crazy animals around here is part of the fun of this country because
Well,
yeah.
if I can cover myself in an entire bodysuit, maybe a dry suit for diving, with a helmet, so the bugs can't get in, I'll be okay.
Oh, then I think the mountains are better. There you have Riobamba, that is a place where you can drink a lot. If you come to Ecuador, you go to Riobamba is because you want to be really, really drunk.
Well, that sounds okay.
Oh, it's a really fun place.
So, what's the best time of year to go, season-wise? What would you say was the best? Or
We
year?
have we have 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Is either hot as fuck or cold as fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, in the Ecuadorian line, you don't have really seasons other than
No.
winter and summer. And summer is depending on a lot of currents and everything, so it might be a winter. Literally, it's
Yeah.
exactly like winter, but it's just another time of the year.
Well, that was like
But
when I lived in Texas. It was either hot as fuck or not quite as hot as fuck.
no, here in Quito, it will be cold as fuck because actually there's ice on the volcano that I live in.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, so the peak of the volcano, it has three
So
peaks.
you
They are
make
covered.
yourself sound like a Bond villain. You live in a volcano.
Some of the funny stuff is when there's electrical storms
Yeah.
because since it's a volcano, there's a lot of
I've
electromagnetism
seen
under
the
the.
pictures of the lightning hitting the volcanoes in other
Yeah,
places. It's pretty spectacular. Yeah.
I have to disconnect anything that I actually don't want to burn because even
Mm.
having everything grounded, perfectly set up, you still can just blow a breaker and start a fire if you are not careful under those circumstances. And David Martin, brother.
Hey, D-Bud, how are you, buddy?
Hey.
I'm just looking at some pictures of Quito and the volcano in the background. Is that Cotopaxi?
No,
Cotopaxi?
that's the Pichincha, but that's
Okay,
one of the mouths of the Pichincha. There's El
okay.
Guagua Pichincha, the Ruco Pichincha, and the proper Pichincha. I live
Ah,
near the Ruco Pichincha. That crater is supposed to be almost inactive, but when I was a kid, this is 95 maybe.
mm-hmm.
It started throwing ashes.
So it's not dead yet.
Is not completely dead. So yeah, we had earthquakes and ashes, and I remember when I was a kid that I had to be completely covered the face and everything
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want that ash to touch you
Oh
because
yeah.
it's so alkaline that will burn.
I'm just looking up. Here we go. Looking up some of these volcanoes in your country. Oh yeah, nice.
Let
Quito, Otavalo Hot Springs in Papalacta.
Papayacta. Oh,
Papayacta.
Papayacta is delightful, man.
Yeah, that looks good. Nice. Okay, one of these days, mate. I'll do the grand tour.
Yeah. If you do, brother, I will take you some of the craziest places, even around here. The teleférico. The teleférico. You just go into the volcano, and you can see the city down,
Mm.
but you also can see part of the mountain is golden because of the weeds that grow there. Is just
Wow.
golden, and you see it gold as far as you can see, and then it just
Mm.
drops. You see the mountain
Wow.
ends, and it's just this chasm at the end of the horizon, and it looks so goddamn cool.
I'm just looking at some pictures now of various places in Quito. So there's Al Parque Itimbia.
Chimbia.
Itimbia.
Yeah, that's really near of my
Quite
home.
high up, 3,000 meters up. Yeah.
Yep,
The beach, and you can see the Pichincha volcano.
Pichincha. Yeah,
And then
that's
you
the
get,
one that I live in.
yeah,
The Pichincha.
I can see your house from here. No.
Most likely, yeah.
There's the Plaza Grande. There's always a Plaza Grande in Spanish speaking countries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing in. This is a bit of a joke in when people go to Quebec in Canada, and
Mhm.
when I first went there, people that go there they go, why are all the bridges here called the Pont Bridge? Well, Pont is French for bridge. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, look, another Pont Bridge. Well, no, that is the bridge. It's just things like that, yeah. But yeah, I can see the narrow streets that you can go up the hills, and yeah, some nice pictures here.
Oh, and under those streets on the sector of the Plaza Grande and everything, there's catacombs filled with bones of the nuns will have their abortions underneath the
Mm,
city.
right.
So you have a whole field of that.
Mm. Yeah, the old city. I'm looking
Yeah.
at the old city. There's
On.
the cathedral,
Mhm.
La Ronda,
Yeah.
which is almost the name of a theme park in Montreal, which is La Ronde, but it's close.
Oh.
La Ronda. Help me, La Ronda. Help me, La Ronda.
Oh, La Ronda means just
It's in the
a
round.
floret, one of those circles that you will have to alleviate transit.
Mitad del Mundo. Mitad del Mundo.
Mitad del Mundo is it was supposed to be in the middle of the northern and southern hemisphere of the planet,
Mm.
but it's actually not. It's a couple of kilometers wrong, but you can walk to the middle of literally of the planet.
Yeah, I see that mentioned here. Yeah, the equator.
Yeah, it's literally the middle of the planet. If you
Yeah,
go from the point
that's pretty
that
cool.
is the true north and the point that is the true south, you
Yeah,
are just in the middle and you can balance an egg there easily.
that would be pretty cool.
It's a stupid cool,
It's
man.
stupid cool. I'd love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just get such a nerdy kick out of that. Hey, I'm standing exactly in the middle of the earth, you know.
Yeah, I have done that.
And at that point, you're also the farthest away from the core of the earth because the earth is slightly
Yes.
bulges at the. So you're the furthest away from the core you would get standing
You
there.
are in that bump that the
Mhm.
earth has on the equatorial line, but also you are on the top of one of the tallest mountains of that area. So
Yeah.
basically you are on the highest places that you can be on the middle of the planet.
Mm.
Is yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah, that's so crazy
But yeah, one
crazy
of
cool.
these days, well, a few years from now, I'm sure it'll happen. So
Mhm.
it'll happen at some point, mate. Uh, you know, who knows? Who knows where the time goes? But yeah, but if you're ever up in Canada, likewise, I'll show you some very, very flat prairies and a lot of snow. You know what though? Where we are here
Mhm.
in Alberta, we can actually, well, although we're on the eastern side of Calgary, we can see from my house the Rocky Mountains, uh, with Calgary downtown in between. But you can see the Rockies all snow capped from here because it's so flat. There's nothing between us and them. Everything's flat for like we can see towns 40 miles away. It's it's so flat.
Dude, that's so awesome.
You stand on like a 10-foot high slope and you're above everything else. You know, it's the prairies, so it's very flat. Whereas the place I lived in British Columbia was literally like this, up and down. It was in the hills and the mountains, and God, I hated it. Oh, not another hill I got to walk up or cycle up or give me flat. I want flat. I'm
Oh,
done with
that
hills. Done.
yeah, that's one of the things about my city in particular is just hills. My house is in a really steep street, so you actually have to build a bit of muscle on the legs if you want to come to my house walking.
I can do it for a while. I can walk
Yeah,
those,
but
but every day at home it was Jesus. I got to go up this. We used to have hills that we called Heart Attack Hill and Stroke Slope and stuff.
that's a good name.
The Stroke Slope was the worst. It was very deceptive because I used to cycle up it and I think this doesn't look so bad. And like 10 feet 10 feet along, I'd be like, oh God, this is a nightmare. It just didn't look that bad.
Oh, there's a street here near La Ronda where you actually need to use a 4x4 if you want actually to climb that because it's so steep that you
Yeah.
will actually try to climb it in a normal car and the car will start just drifting down. It will just it's gravity. It's
It'd
how
be
it
tough.
works.
It would be tough when it's snow and ice then.
When it's raining,
Or
you
even
can
then.
literally just walk into that street and start using a toboggan. It's fun. It's something that I have done as a kid.
Cool. Yeah, well, here right now, it's warmed up a little bit, but
Mhm.
last week we had minus 30, minus 35
Oof.
centigrade, minus 40 at one point. It's that kind of cold that freezes your eyeballs and your hairs in your nostrils freeze.
Damn.
You go out with the face completely wrapped up, and it's pretty cold. But like a week later, it went back up to above freezing, and then it goes away. And then of course everything melts, and then it freezes again, and it becomes really slippy. But we get 4 seasons, though. We do get a spring and a summer and an autumn, so it's not so bad. Can't complain. We get a lot
Wait,
of sunshine here in Alberta. Lots of sunshine.
I just noticed I never tweeted this.
Well, you should.
Yep, I'm
I
doing
did.
it.
And we do have a massive audience. We got D-Bird, Ironcaster, and Bilby. I think hopefully they're all still there.
Brothers. Yeah, I think they are still here.
D-Bud's calling us nerds. D-Bud's a watcher of nerds. So is it worse to be the nerd or the watcher of nerds? I want to get D-Bud onto a stream.
Oh,
He's always modding away for me, and I want him to get him. I'd like to
yeah,
get him on a show.
let me see.
I want to get
can
him on a
invite
show
you.
one of these days. Obviously, Ironcaster streams a lot, and I've been on streams with him. But D-Bud's so good to come on and a lot of my streams and do modding, and it's very good of him. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Debut, can you contact me on Twitter so I can send you a link?
Yeah, anyone's welcome to come on, of course. But,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So just to get back to the nerdy stuff, though, now we've had the travelogue, we've had the travel thing. So we're almost at the end of the year. And it's a shitty year it was in many ways. Personally, for me, it was pretty good. I moved to a nice new house and things are nice. What have been some of your favourite things, entertainment-wise or whatever? It could be a book, it could be a movie. What would you look back on and say, that was worthwhile, that was good?
Oh, there's a couple of things. This year, well, I started doing the video editing for Midnight Edge. That was actually really, really, really cool.
Nice.
Because the videos for Midnight Edge are the ones that I used when I was modifying my speakers. Because it's not just PC speakers. I have a subwoofer, and the subwoofer is connected to an audio component set of speakers that I have to modify so they will take 8 ohms perfectly and will not have any distortion. And to test the distortion, I will use the beginning of the Midnight Edge videos because of the music that they had at the beginning. The old school
I know
intro.
that's got that boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom thing going on. Yeah.
I use that to set up the speaker, so it actually worked really, really well. But that's how I started watching Midnight Edge. Now I am editing the videos. In some
So
of the
when you
videos,
say that, so you're working on not just the Midnight's Edge Espanol, but the Midnight's Edge videos as well.
yes, some of the videos that are coming out on the main channel have been done by me.
Very good,
Actually, doing those videos is how I finally got the money to buy a proper graphics card, because I had a 750 Ti that I have to resolder some of the MOSFETs for the electrical components, because it blew when my old power supply blew. So for 2 years, I had a PC that was using pieces that I had to fix during the COVID quarantine with a soldering iron at home. And it still works, so I am not complaining.
Though. That's the good old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
I only just recently got stopped using my GTX 760 and got a new 3070 T.
Yeah, I got a 3070 Ti, and for video games, although I don't really play on PC.
I
But
do.
for
Because I've moved to mostly PC gaming now from PlayStations. Mostly
I will
PC.
admit something. After years of being sitting in front of a PC, software developing or
Mm.
doing editing or graphic design or anything of the shit that I have done, I kind of hate being sitting in front of the PC.
Well, I sit in my reclining chair 10
Oh,
feet
that's
back from the 65-inch TV up in the
that's way
wall.
better.
So yeah, I mean, I don't sit in front. I can play. I do sit at this laptop
Mhm.
sometimes and play, but I generally use my gaming PC that's next to the TV, and that's you know
Oh yeah,
that's
but because of that, a lot of the times that I had the access to actually tune up my PC to play video games,
Mm,
I got a console because, well, that
mm,
I can set up on my TV that is in front of my bed and I can just play there and be happy.
mm.
That is something that on my PC I hate the fact that I have a cheap chair, so my back hurts and everything. So I want to just be comfortable and
Yeah,
relax.
well, that's part of the problem. Is this shitty chair here? I'm getting rid of, and I've got another one arriving in a day or two that's much better. So that'll help my
Dude,
back. But it does make a difference, and I'm getting a new
yes.
desk set up. I'm getting an all new studio setup. So this desk I'm using now is just a stopgap. I'm
Oh,
gonna get
awesome.
a whole U-shaped thing, the two L's put together, gaming desks, and I'll have tons of room for everything then. And it's going to look good. Actually, what I also need is a new. This is just the integrated webcam on the laptop, which has been
Mhm.
good, but it's very fixed field of view. Then I want to get a proper
Mm.
SLR digital one mounted higher up, looking at me at a different angle and something I can focus in and out as well. So
Yeah,
there's
I get.
plans, but it's
Mhm.
money. Money is the problem,
Yeah, money is always a problem.
but the chair will
But
help. But yeah, it's been tough to get graphics cards. So I finally got around to getting a new one, and because I do intend to use PC mainly now. Only if it's only games that I can play on a controller though. I don't play games with a keyboard and a mouse on PC. I can't. I'm too old and set in my ways. I need to use a controller after years of PlayStations and whatever. So if I can play it with a controller, great. If I can't, I don't play it.
you are actually on the right. I will tell you, you are actually on the right. I have when I was a kid, I used a lot of of my PC to play games.
Yeah.
But now that I have used the controller for so long, and especially because my brain works in a different way. So, okay, I will go on camera to explain this because I don't know how to explain this in other way.
Hmm.
Let me just. Okay, the
Oh, there you
controller.
are, you handsome
Yeah,
devil, you.
normally you will hold like this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
My brain doesn't work like this anymore.
Okay.
My brain works like this.
Okay. Yeah.
So I always have fingers on the two buttons on
Yeah.
each side.
So yeah.
Yeah. So for some reason, my brain detects the extra buttons as you need fingers there. You actually need to use those buttons all the time.
Yeah.
For Dark Souls, that works wonders. I can do crazy stuff on Dark Souls because
Hmm.
each each finger can do crazy stuff separated. So it works really well. But
Hmm.
my brain needs have to have all those inputs and needs to have all the micromanaging of everything that I'm doing, and the keyboard and mouse are completely useless for that.
I can't do that. No, there's too many. I mean, if you look at the list of keys that you have to remember
Oh yeah.
in a game, it's insane. I just can't do it, and I have to use a controller. There's
Yeah.
just no way I'll ever be able. I mean, I can use the odd button on a keyboard to do something, but the list of keyboard commands for most big games, RPGs particularly, is dozens long. I mean, it's who the hell's going to remember that shit? I just can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't. I can barely remember how to use a controller. Never mind anything else. But yeah, that's muscle memory controller. It sits in your hand. You know what you pretty much know what each button's going to do in every game on the controller. And I use a PlayStation controller on the PC. I remap everything to the PlayStation controller, not an Xbox controller, which most Steam and PC games want you to use an Xbox controller. I don't.
Yeah,
use the
I use
PlayStation.
this controller because the batteries are removable, and that is something really, really interesting on controllers right now. The batteries are normally into the control, so if you want to replace them, you may put the control in peril.
Yeah, you pretty
You
much gonna
may
break it all.
actually damage some of the circuitry or anything. This, you just open a lid, take out the AA batteries, set new ones, and you can have rechargeable batteries. And
Nice. Yeah.
it's
Good night, D-Bud, by the way.
hey,
Good night, D-Bud.
D-Bud,
See
go
you,
to
see you
sleep,
later,
man.
mate. Yeah.
Take care.
I actually, a lot of the time, although I do use my controller wireless, I've got a big long cable, 10-foot cable. So I do actually, a lot of the time, I just plug it in, USB, and I just use it plugged in on the PC.
Yeah, the PlayStation 4 controller, I will say, is superior. I will instantly say is superior for anything because, one, the buttons are softer to the touch, so register a lot of what you are doing quicker and better. The sticks are in the PlayStation position. I always thought that is kinda a mistake where the sticks are, but
You mean in regards to like
in regards,
instead of an Xbox controller?
yeah, exactly. You know, the Xbox controller has one of the sticks
Yeah,
on
it's up,
top.
and the pad is on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
never liked that. Never liked it.
I actually like that on the Xbox controller because it allows me on fighting games to use the D-pad easier than in
Okay.
the PlayStation controller, and I'm kind of nerd of that kind of games. But
But do you think the PlayStation 4 controller is better than the PlayStation 5 controller? Or no?
the
No
shape
difference.
of the PlayStation 5 controller is better. The quality of the materials and the duration of the controller itself, I will say, is better for the PlayStation 4
Okay.
because
Yeah.
those noodle looking things, spirals made out of plastic that you have on the PlayStation 5 controller for the triggers,
Yeah.
will break.
Yeah, and I tend to play. I kind of mash things quite hard when I'm playing because when you mash the button harder, you're obviously going to play better. The harder you mash it, the better. it's just, but so I'm quite rough with the controller, so I probably will break the 5 one pretty quickly. I've got one. I mainly use the 4s, but I do have a 5. But yeah, it does feel a bit flimsier.
Yeah, it definitely feels flimsier, but the PlayStation 4 controller for me is just a godsend. The only issue is not one-to-one perfectly on PC.
No, and that's why I have to remap everything. So for every game at the beginning, I will go in to Steam and map the controller so that it'll work with the buttons I'm familiar with on a PlayStation controller. So the A and X buttons, particularly on the Xbox, I like reverse those for the play. So when I'm hitting X, it's X, not A. If you know what I mean. Yeah, because that just throws me completely. But that generally, most other stuff doesn't have to be remapped. That's the most that you have to remap, but I have to do it. But I don't know about you, but I didn't think there was a great deal of fantastic games out last year. And I'm a very particular player. I mainly play RPGs. So I don't play a lot of shooting games or first-person shooters. I don't play a lot of MMOs. I'm more of an RPG guy. So I found there wasn't a great deal of new stuff that I liked. Mainly, I spent the time I was playing. I played the Mass Effect trilogy again with the remaster. I played The Witcher 3 yet again for like the fourth time. There was the Ghost of Tsushima DLC at the start of the year, so even though that game came out the year before, there was the DLC. And I did play Horizon Forbidden West, which, despite elements of wokeness, I did enjoy the gameplay, and it was quite nice. So
Did you manage to get the nipples?
did I get the nipples? Remind me of the nipples.
Alloy is fully modeled, including nipples and the underparts.
I
But
don't
to
recall seeing them. No.
to see them, you actually need to glitch out the game.
Oh, I
Uh,
didn't do that. No.
Yeah,
So she
because
is fully
normally it
formed.
will be under the armor, but there are some armors that have different layers of material, and if you glitch through the layers on photo mode,
Okay.
you can look to Alloy in
And is she
all
well
her
built?
glory. Yep. It is
Because
actually really fun. I don't know why they decided. And by the way, it's not like they are just a copy paste of the same nipple. They have different texture and shape, and
someone
everything
put a
is.
lot of effort into that. Then.
Somebody had a lot of free time
Well, they
or a
should have showed
lot.
her. They should have had her assets shown off more then, because they were doing that thing. Oh well, she's not for the male gaze, and yet clearly under there is a gaze to be seen. There is
It's
things to be seen.
actually easier if you are talking about development. When you have those details on a character, you can morph some of the textures and shape some of the shadows better
You know what I'm
because
gonna.
of the
You know what I'm doing after this stream then.
trying to glitch
I'm
it.
gonna try it.
That's the first thing that I will do if I ever get a PS5.
I'm gonna do that, yeah. But the what I did do when I played the Mass Effect trilogy remaster through was I did get all the mods.
Oh,
So I had the mods that restored Miranda's butt and
awesome.
all the ones that made the Asari all naked and whatever. I had all those dirty old man mods.
I use those kind of mods since The Sims 1. I don't know
Yep.
if you remember that you could actually set a naked mode, so every
Yes.
time they will go to the bathroom and such. But something that was natural on the game that nobody really paid much attention, you could make homosexual relationships on the game work. So, for instance, I will always create a female character and will, in the expansions that you will go into vacations and such, get her into the bathtub with another girl, and it will always work.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. I think it's a glitch in one of the expansions that allow you to have homosexual relationships on The Sims.
No, I did not know that, mate. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there you can do. I mean, I did get mods that were doing some
Yes.
interesting things, but I had to get Miranda's butt back. That had to be done. There was no way I was allowing them to cut that out of the
Yeah.
game. In fact, hang on. Oh, where is it? I have that as one of my backdrops on my streams that I can call up. It's the close up of that for my gaming streams. The backdrop is Miranda's butt. I don't know
Dude,
what I've done with that picture. I'm looking for it, but
my library of Steam games is actually pitiful. But a friend of mine is sharing his library with me because he wants me to test the graphics card to its fullest potential.
okay.
So he has more modern titles like I'm replaying Near Automata that I platinumed on PlayStation. I'm replaying it just for the hell of it, and it's a beautiful game. And in this card, looks gorgeous. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep, that's a really good item.
That's a butt.
Yep.
But yeah,
But
that's interesting to know, mate. Yeah.
yeah, but my library, so you get an idea what kind of player I really am on PC. Is
Yeah.
Age of Empires 2,
Okay.
Age of
yeah.
Empires 3,
You like that kind of stuff.
yeah, Among Us, chess,
Yeah.
Deus Ex. This guy.
A lot of the games I've got on PC are actually the games I used to have on console or still have. I just wanted to have
Yeah.
them on PC as well. Hence the, the Witcher, the Mass Effect stuff.
Oh, the new patch for The Witcher
I've got
is
that. Yeah,
beautiful. If you got it,
I
just play
have.
the game for a while to get the sensation of the patch. Actually, makes it look really, really incredible.
And it's
Is
an incredible looking game anyway. I mean, I like to go
yeah.
into just to ride around in Toussaint, and not even playing the game, just riding
Mhm.
around in it, looking at it.
Yeah. By the way, the terrain on Tucson is way more colorful. Colorful, so you will have
Mhm.
the contrast of the flowers and everything. It looks really poppy, really beautiful.
Yeah, and the other game that looked beautiful was the Ghost of Tsushima, which I
I still
absolutely
haven't played.
I adore that game. I loved it. That was out last year. The DLC was
Mhm.
at the start of this year. That game, given it was a PS4 game, looks stunning. The flowers, the Japanese landscape with all the flowers and whatever, and it just looks great. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a great game. It's got a lot of heart and soul in it. I love that game. Love that game. I
You know
really.
what?
They are making a live action show of it. I hope they don't fuck it up
Oh,
because
hopefully. You know what game actually caught my attention and I actually really enjoyed playing this year? Elden Ring.
yeah, I've got a copy, but I've never started playing it yet. I've never had the time to really get into it, so I will get round to that eventually. I've got it on
On
the PC.
PS4, on
I've got it on
just
the
on PS4,
yeah,
I
I've got it on the
have
PC.
260 hours of that game. I
Mm,
have platinum it and I'm
mm,
playing it on PC again and is just beautiful. Is one of
yeah,
the best games that From Software has ever made. I will say is the best of the Dark Souls line.
yeah. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've watched a lot of people play it, but I did get a copy, but I've never started it yet. But
Oh,
I'm waiting for the opportunity to when I know I'm going to have a few days that I can just focus on
yes,
that.
but I
Um,
recommend it. I really recommend it. You will enjoy it. Goddamn, there's the difficulty of that game makes it even better.
yeah, I've heard it's pretty unforgiving. The enemy, if a lot of the bosses can kill you if you take them on too early, quite easily kill
Before
you.
before patch 1.3, Radan, one of the big bosses on the game, will kill you on a single hit.
Hmm.
And you actually needed to recruit a lot of NPCs to fight with him while you were trying to set up ways to lower his health
Hmm.
because he will just destroy you if you try to fight him directly. After that patch, they nerf him a bit, but it's still difficult. It's still an interesting boss. It's just not the same
Yeah.
torture. I beat him before patch 1.3, and I actually can brag about that because that was the hardest fight on the whole game.
Yeah, I've heard, yeah, I am going to play it because RPGs like that are my thing, and I love a good RPG.
Oh,
But
it's great.
and I love picking shit up and crafting shit and finding stuff and traveling around. I love all those things in the game. Other
Uh-huh.
people love going shooting things. I love to do all that stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like shooting and killing things too, but um, I love the whole. Or like I spent about a year playing Skyrim, for instance, like a whole year just playing Skyrim because I just loved crafting and collecting, and I had to do everything. I had to go to every corner.
I will be honest, I kinda hate Skyrim.
I know a lot of people weren't that keen, but I had never actually played the other Elder Scrolls games
Mhm.
until that. I've gone back since and played a couple of the older ones like Morrowind, but I did enjoy Skyrim, and the thing is, I played it immediately after I played Fallout New Vegas, which I also
Oh,
played for
yeah,
about a year, and is still my favorite game of all time.
it's really good.
fucking love that game.
You know what was my issue with Skyrim? I found that everything was inconsequential to the game proper. And sometimes you because there's not cutscenes, you will be in a really important conversation with somebody, and you will be walking around and stealing cheese and stealing plates, and you are actually not paying attention because there's nothing that tells you you need to pay attention. So I will forget everything about the story easy.
Yeah, but stealing cheese is fun.
Oh yeah, but
Just-
if you are in the most important conversation of the game and you are instead of paying
I
attention
know.
stealing cheeses,
But I loved the dragons. I loved the
yeah,
whole. There was a lot of stuff I liked about it. I can understand why other. I mean, I know other people who love RPGs didn't like it at all, and they certainly didn't like it in comparison to Morrowind or Oblivion. So
mhm.
they thought they were superior. I hadn't played those before. I played Skyrim, so for me it
Yeah,
was the first. And now, are they going to desecrate the next one? Because
completely.
Bethesda probably are going to fuck it up, but who knows? Apollomies Minion, hello.
Hey, hello.
Good to see you.
Yeah, really good to see you. Are you on the way? Are you on the road? Apollo means she actually drives a truck on the US. Yeah.
She's trucking. She keeps on trucking.
Yeah, and she has a
Cool.
dog that is lovely, man.
See, truck drivers, I salute them.
Hell yeah.
They keep us alive, quite frankly. Without truck drivers, we'd be screwed. And as we saw in Canada, when they try and stand up for anything, the government crushes them. So
Yeah, that I still have some of the videos of the trucker protest on Canada, and it's
yeah, they brutally suppressed them and lied about it at the same time. They lied. They used Trudeau used every trick in the book to suppress those poor fuckers. So I'm right behind them. So good job, me. Hey, Dave. Dave's here too.
brother.
Hey. They're flooding in now.
Yeah,
See, you only have to go for an hour and a half. Once you get past the first hour and a half, that's when the audience comes in. We can start again now.
no, it works. It works.
So yeah, there wasn't. Yeah, most of the games I enjoyed playing were older games. I have to say, other than Horizon Forbidden West, and I do like that. I did like Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. I know there was the odd kind of woke element in some parts of it, but I don't think they overdid it, to be honest. And I did like the story, and I liked the environment, and I loved Lance Reddick's character. Lance Reddick's character, the Silence, who is kind of the antagonist, but then he's not really bad. He's just got his own objectives. So I kind of like that part of it. I like him; he's a great actor. So
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good game. I enjoyed that immensely.
The first game I love. I haven't played the second game yet. I will.
It's good.
Yeah, I will get the PS5, then I will play it, or I will wait to be on PC because on PS4 I don't want to play it. I know all the glitches, all the graphical difficulties that the first game had on the PS4. I don't think it will be really better on the next game, so I prefer to avoid it on that console.
Well, this is why I do still have a PS4, although it makes more noise than a train now because it's so old. You can hear it upstairs when it's running. And even I cleared it out, I opened it up and cleared it out. It still makes a lot of noise. I didn't want to I don't want to buy any more games on it.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to get a PS5, even if you could get one, because they were short. That's why I've switched to PC. So if I can't get it to play in the PC, I'm not buying anything else on the PS4 now. I'm done with that. I'll still use it for older games that are on it, but I'm not.
Oh, I see.
I'm not going to buy new ones on it. I'm just going to buy them on PC. I don't think I'll get a PS5 ever. I certainly won't be getting an Xbox, I don't think. Although, to be fair to Microsoft and Xbox, they're going to have a lot of games because of all the studios they've bought, So
If there are some countries that may actually block them from buying. At least I will say it's really difficult that they complete the acquisition of Activision Blizzard,
Yeah.
especially because there's some other interest other than games on that acquisition, some patents for
Mm.
tech that I don't think Microsoft should have, or at least not if they the fight for console supremacy is going to be fair. Microsoft should not have access to those patents.
Yeah, I mean they've pretty much mopped up everything they can. Whether that's a good or a bad thing is, I mean, the monopolies are never good. Um, on the other hand, I don't need an Xbox because all that stuff will be out in PC as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought, well, I'll focus on the PC from now on.
Uh,
Do you? I just wanted to ask you. I know you like a lot of anime, but do you play any JRPGs, like Japanese games? Are you a fan of those?
Like a crazy man.
Yeah, I wondered. Yeah, I've never been that keen on them. Like Final Fantasy and so on. I've played a couple of them. Seven. I played seven.
Okay, do you have access to a DS or 3DS?
Um, sorry, say that again, mate. I'm not
To
with
a
you.
Nintendo DS
I
or a
don't.
Nintendo
No,
3DS?
no.
Oh,
Sorry, no. I don't. No,
oh,
I've got a
because
PS4 and I've got a PC. That's it.
one of the best ways to get into JRPGs would be either Final Fantasy 3, the version for the DS,
Hmm.
or Bravely Default, the first game. I think it's actually on PC now. I'm not sure, but I
Okay.
thought Bravely Default 2 is on PC. That one I'm sure. I'm not sure if Bravely Default 1 is on it.
Okay. I'm just
But
writing
yeah,
that down now.
those JRPGs are really, really good. Persona 5 is one game that I will
I've
tell
heard
you
of that.
is
Yeah.
incredible. Um,
Certainly heard of that one. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the romance options, I will always go for the nerdy girl on the Persona games. So Fuka on Persona
Yeah.
3 and Futaba on Persona 5, and Sumi, nerdy girls are the best.
Hey, I don't disagree with you. I just find that some of those games I'm not that big a fan of the combat styles. Like the Final Fantasy games, there's a lot of swirling of big swords, like the big long ones like that, and lots of shit going on at once, with points flying out of people. I kind of find that a bit distracting.
Oh, there the fun is actually creating compositions on the team that can break the game,
Hmm.
especially in those kind of games where yeah everything is twirly and looks cool. It's just how it looks, but the mechanics normally are really solid because you will have elemental differences. You will have certain things that will work better for this boss or that
Hmm.
boss or this kind of enemies. You will have wide range attacks that will attack every single enemy,
Hmm.
or single attacks that will go to a single one. So you need to create a team that can deal with everything that is coming. So if you are going through a dungeon, you need to kill a lot of enemies at the beginning, just to make sure that you get full health to the boss. But then in the boss,
Hmm.
you will actually have to concentrate attacks, and is
Okay.
yeah,
So Brett Cohen is saying if I don't have a big sword, it can be a little intimidating. Well, I do have a big sword. I just don't use it for gaming. So
yeah, I get what you mean.
I just wanted to say to Polyme, who's heading back to Salt Lake City, I stayed in the Grand American Hotel in Salt Lake City once. Very nice hotel. Had a really good couple of days there.
Sounds
It's a nice,
fancy.
nice hotel. Very classy hotel. I quite liked Salt Lake City, I have to say. I mean, I would live there. I don't think, but it was kind of nice walking around the all the stuff and the Mormon stuff or whatever. Some interesting stuff, but that hotel, the Grand American, well, that's a great hotel. Anyway, sorry, that was a
Yeah,
sidetrack.
no worries. We are chilling. There's not many sidetracks.
I mean, I'm trying to think of what's coming up next year that I'm interested in. I know that this is going to be a real interesting one because Starfield
Mhm.
is the kind of game that I should like. So the Bethesda's Starfield space-based RPG. But given Bethesda's recent track record, it fills me with dread to think about what they might do with this game, which is supposed to be awesome but could end up being not awesome, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Is Bethesda? I don't trust Bethesda at all. I really don't.
And this is the problem because normally, a few years ago, I would have been gagging for a game like Starfield. I would have been, this is going to be great. And now I'm like, I'm going to wait and see. I never pre-order a game. Never pre-order games anymore. I used to buy box sets, deluxe sets, whatever. No, never. Now I wait and I wait and I wait, and then I go, glad I didn't get that because it turned out they fucked it up. So we'll
Dude.
see. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, Dead Space remake might be good. Might be.
Mhm.
Did like the original games. I don't know. There's just what's really grabbing me. Not sure yet about next. There was a game I was looking forward to called Crimson Desert, but it's got no release date yet. It's an RPG that's been in the works for a while from more of an independent studio, but I guess that's going to take them a while to get there.
That's the reason why I'm buying the Nintendo Switch. There's a lot of games that I want to play. There's a lot of games that I'm interested that not necessarily are games that are coming in the future. There's a couple of games that I can say I am interested in the future, but let's be honest, even now having a PC that can play anything that they throw me, I'm just not really interested on any of the new
Yeah.
current stuff. But on the Nintendo Switch, I have a couple of games that I either love, for example, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I have
Yeah.
finished and completed that game with the DLC 6 times now.
So that's interesting because the Tears of the Kingdom is coming
It's
out
coming.
next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So are
so
you
that's
looking
one of
forward
the
to that?
reasons. Yep.
Yeah.
Then there's Mario Odyssey. That is a game that I want to 100% if possible. And there's a couple of games that are just interesting to me. Pokemon Arceus and such. Seems like a good fun time with RPGs, with JRPGs. Pokemon, for example, is a really good example of a JRPG that you can play and get into easily. By the way, the entry point for Pokemon, I will say, was on the 3DS. Pokemon X and Y are the best ways to just get into Pokemon and start if you didn't do it at the beginning of Pokemon because
Yeah.
of the easiness that they give you to do stuff on the games, and I completely adore that generation. I have over 1,200 hours on Pokemon Y and 300 hours on Pokemon X.
Wow.
Yeah. But
You know-
I bred Pokemons to sell. I bred
Right.
competitive Pokemons to sell. So that
So are
that
you
is part of
saying
that.
you fathered them personally?
No, I used the Pokemon Baker and Ditto that
'Cause
was
that would have been
basically a
bit-
hooker.
That would have been a bit weird.
Yeah. No,
So
there's a Pokemon that is called Ditto that you can basically use that Pokemon and any other Pokemon and they will procreate because this Pokemon can turn itself into a copy of the other Pokemon, but
mm,
yeah, they can reproduce. So that Ditto was a
you
hooker.
know, if you're not careful with this kind of thing, it's like that the old self-replicating bots that might take over the universe. The Pokemons just could keep multiplying, and then eventually all we end up with is grey goo, and they'll just
Yeah, that brings us perfectly back to Horizon because Horizon is the game about the Grey Goo. Is
absolutely.
yeah.
And I like where it's going with all that. But you mentioned Zelda. My nephew was the guy that created the Lego Zelda, which became quite a thing.
Mhm.
Animated Lego Zelda and Lego Zelda
Dude.
sets. He created that stuff. It's incredible what he did. He was only 18 when he started doing it as well. But 3D modeling of all the Zelda characters and stuff in Lego, and then they created actual official Lego sets from it. So
Holy
my
shit,
my
man.
ne-
That's
my nephew did all that as an 18-year-old going to university. Lego Zelda was his concept. It's just quite an incredible thing, you know.
dude, that's really
He's a smart
cool.
fucker. He's a little smart fucker. Well, I say little. He's now. Oh, he's God. Let me think about it. He's good. He's got to be about 28 now, nearly 30. But he was only 18 when he did all this Lego Zelda stuff because he's heavily into Zelda. And he ended up getting. I don't know what he's doing now. He's got a big job in the US for some software house, which he's fairly cagey about. So I'm not exactly sure what he's doing, but he's doing pretty well. He had no trouble getting a green card, unlike me. So he
No,
did all
that.
the stop motion animation, he just did so much Lego stuff. If you looked up Lego Zelda, you'd see my nephew.
Yeah, I
His
have seen
name,
them.
yeah, Michael is his name.
That's so awesome,
That
man.
is my nephew, and he's a smart guy, smart guy.
Know that you were talking about the age of your nephew. The other day, I had the weird realization that I'm old. And I mean,
Yeah.
I normally say I'm old for that or I'm too old for that shit or something like that. But this was the pure sensation of, God damn, I old.
It
Because,
just yeah, it
yeah,
happens, mate. One day you go, wait a minute.
a girl that I was trying to get with for a really long time, that one day I was like, you know what? This is shit. I don't want to be on the friend zone, so I don't
Hmm.
want to see you ever again. And
Yeah.
I got away from her, right? She writes after 2 years of I haven't seen her at all. I
Yeah.
didn't respond to her, but I obviously checked her photograph. She
Hmm.
looks old. She looks,
Oh,
yeah, and
isn't it weird that you
yeah,
see it
she's 2 years older
reflected?
than me.
You
So
see it
I'm
reflected in
34.
other people. You don't think of it as yourself, but when I see people I was at
Yeah,
school with now, I think, my God, she looks old. And I
yeah,
think, wait a minute, I'm as old as that too.
exactly. Yeah, she is 2 years older than me, but I saw her and I'm like, she's 36.
Yeah, it's the
I'm
weirdest thing. I
34.
know. I know. I've got two children who are in their 30s.
Mhm.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
They're both over 30, and I've got grandchildren, and I noticed that I don't feel particularly any different mentally inside. I feel like the same person. I'll be watching something, and I'll maybe have a couple of, I'll maybe have a really cute girl actress in some movie, and I'll go, oh God, she's hot, and then I think, wait a
yeah,
minute, she's 10 years younger than my daughter. That's when it suddenly hits home that yeah, I'm in a different world now than I think I'm in. I'm not the
yeah.
18-year-old guy that still goes out there and tries to get into all that stuff. I would be looked at by them as an old, like what I am, which is a verging on senior citizen in some ways. And,
yeah, it was really, really weird just to look at her and realize that, well, for me, she was the sexy, young,
Yeah,
incredible woman that you will just want to be with. She was really
mhm,
fun, really energetic.
yeah.
The issues that then she became a full hippie and then she went into feminism. So that's why I was
She
like, yeah,
ruined herself,
fuck you.
basically.
I don't want to. Yeah, but she
I'm the only man that
looks.
dares use a back scratcher live on YouTube.
Nah, it works. She is. She looks like the age she is.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Well, that's
That moment it was like, God damn, I have almost her age. That means that.
it's funny. There was a girl at high school that I absolutely lusted after. Like I really, really wanted to go out with her, and she wouldn't. She was friendly, but she wouldn't give me the time of day in that way.
Yeah,
No
the friend
chance it was.
zone is
No chance it
terrible.
was going to happen. She was really cute and whatever, and I was just a nerd. And years later, I don't know how she found out how to get in touch with me, but she got in touch with me to say hello, and I got the feeling. I mean, I wasn't. It was way, but I was married and whatever. I got the feeling she was kind of
Mhm.
trying to get together with me. How times had changed, but anyway, I saw the picture of her. And I thought, oh my god, because she. And I'm not trying to sound cruel, but she had aged, as we all had, and she'd put on a lot of weight, and she was no longer the young cute thing. And here she was trying to get back, trying to kind of get in with me. And I thought, all right, okay, yeah, times have changed, but so have you.
Yep.
Yeah, it was funny that I thought, these things have come round in a circle, and yeah, because I felt I was still looking pretty good. This was quite a long time ago now. I mean,
Mhm.
25, 30 years ago, 30 years ago maybe. And I thought, well, I'm doing pretty well for whatever. You haven't got aged quite as well.
Yeah, but the only time that I actually kinda thought about how I'm aging or how people of my generation is aging is because Emma Watson. So
Yeah.
Emma Watson, when everything began, when she was
Mm,
on the first Harry Potter movie, she was just
hmm.
a girl, but I
Just a
was
kid.
a couple of years older and nothing more. Then she becomes hotter and hotter and hotter, and when I can finally see her and damn, she's really hot, is kind of uncomfortable because she was this small girl just a couple of
Mm,
movies before, and now she's, as Tim Minchin puts it on one of his monologues on one of his sketches, Emma Watson is the girl that you thought how cute, and now I want to watch her shower, and that's kind of uncomfortable. But then she went in the whole veganism and everything, and now she
mm.
looks like a mommy.
Oh, terrible. Yeah, terrible.
And I was like, that,
Skin and bones. Yeah.
yeah, that's the girl that I thought become one of the most beautiful women in the planet, and now she looks like garbage, and that much time has happened. But no, it's also she is into all those diets and shit, so obviously her body
I don't know what's wrong with
decayed.
these people. Yeah, they ruin
Yeah.
themselves. Anyway, hold on, Emma. Pablo's saying bad things about you. Yeah. Okay. No, she's just telling me. She's just told me that she doesn't care. No, I've never. Well, see, she was. I would never have looked at her in that way because she's way younger than me.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I, I admit it. I admit it. I'm still into Monica Bellucci and Salma Hayek.
Oh,
Much more my age and still hot as hell.
yeah. Salma Hayek is, that woman
Yeah.
can kill you with a look, man.
She could kill me with a couple of other things too, but
Oh, absolutely.
so age appropriate for me, but still hot.
Yep. I think the age appropriate woman on my generation kind of went to crazy or to waste on Hollywood,
Okay.
because you will have people like Natalie Portman
Hmm.
went into the deep end of craziness.
Yep.
The Natalie Portman I thought was
Yeah, she was okay. I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think of an equivalent now. What is she around about in her 40s? Is she 40? 40 years old? How old is she now?
yeah, she is around 40.
Right. I'm trying to think who else is around that age that's still pretty hot.
No, but Natalie Portman, the fun thing is she was the on that era they were more open about this kind of stuff on Hollywood. She was the nymphette.
Mm-hmm.
She was the sexy pubescent girl that Hollywood lusted over. So she was in the professional, and in the professional, there's some scenes that are not the kind of scenes that you want to see in current days. On that,
It's a little
yeah, on that
tricky
era,
when you look
Uh-huh.
back in that movie. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
little
yeah, yeah. It's,
tricky. A 12-year-old girl and a middle-aged man.
and she's the one doing the advances.
It's a
Yeah,
little...
it's kind really.
A great
But
movie. No, actually, you know that movie was actually called Leon in
the professional, yep.
it was called Leon in the UK, not the professional.
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
is weird.
And it actually
people-
has some extra scenes as Leon.
Yep.
It has a couple of extra scenes, including one when the protagonists have a conversation that is regrettable if you see the context now.
Yep. But it was a kick-ass movie, of course.
It's an amazing movie. Discounting everything crazy is
And
great.
it really was one of the earlier of those kind of I mean, now you'd see lots of things like John Wick and whatever.
Mhm.
One guy creating carnage everywhere. The Professional was kind of an earlier take on that, you know?
Yeah, when he invades the police station.
Yeah. It's like you see a lot of stuff like that now, but you didn't see so much of that then.
Yeah.
One guy tearing it up. Now, I'm a big Luc Besson fan, of course, I think, and he's avoided a lot of Hollywood wokeness because he's not Hollywood. So he still makes some quite good movies and produces some quite good movies. So Luc Besson's okay in my book, but yeah, there were some tricky scenes in that.
The thing is that the story is straight up about that. Is Leon is the one that actually rejects her and keeps her in check, but the reason why she is so ahead of her time and actually trying to be in an inappropriate relationship is because she's part of a delinquent family that actually has no morals and have exposed her to drug trade and whoever knows what else, is that kind of situation where her life was already that screwed before. She's just trying to...
The thing is, I think we've become so jaundiced and jaded and aware of the exploitation of, particularly in the movie world, of young people, that it's a shame that we can't have more movies that are about just a friendship or mentorship between an older person and a kid without suspicions of that coming into things now,
Yeah.
It's kind of taken, because there is something about that. I mean, there's been lots of movies in the past where a kid has terrible parents and then finds a mentor of an adult outside of that. Their parents.
Karate Kid?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that relationship. But now, because we suspect, and we know Hollywood and others have been so exploitative of kids and still are, that kind of jaundices us against that plot. Not that, I mean, because Leon, they were kind of hinting at that, which is not good.
No, Leon actually rejects her. That's the part of the movie that people don't really get. The kid is a screw up. But Leon, that is a killer, that is
Yeah,
a guy that you will say has low morals,
yeah,
actually not only avoids her but sets her on a path that she could have a decent life and become an adult, and but she rejects that. That's the point, that
yeah. But I
she
don't.
is never turning away from what her origin is, and
Yeah,
that's the sad note that the movie ends on, that
yeah,
she,
yeah,
yeah, she's about to put the plant on the ground, with the stink on the background and everything, but that won't last, because she wants to be a killer, she wants to become like Leon, because
yeah.
she has nothing of that, how do I say it, that pureness that she'll have because
No,
of her background.
he was not a cynical guy, even though he was a trained professional killer.
Yeah.
He was actually quite a childish, simplistic guy, and I don't mean
Mhm.
that in a. He wasn't stupid, just in a naive, semi-naive outlook on the world. You know,
Yes.
he had a positive outlook on the world, which is weird. Um, but yeah, they just you cannot now, I think, get a movie plot, and I may be wrong. There may be many of them, which has certainly an older male guy being a mentor to a young kid without elements of that being suspected, which is a shame in some ways, because responsible adults mentoring younger people, teaching them things, helping them get their life on track is an important part of society and should be reflected in movies without fear of misinterpretation, if I could put it that way.
You know what? I'm having the out of late, especially, I'm having that thought that we are going back to Greece, on the era where things started to fall down off a cliff,
Mm,
because it's basically, we had that system that allowed some shady things to happen,
yeah.
but we're more like society is good with that because we don't really see the extent of craziness that is going on. We just think is teenagers, going into parties with celebrities or something like that, and then you fall back into, uh, I don't know if you know the creation of, cynicism as a school.
The
Yeah,
cynics. Yes,
the cynic school, with Antisthenes. Antisthenes was,
I have
there
read all
were
the philosophical histories, but I can't remember all the details because I'm getting old. But
basically, Socrates was trial because he did something with, a kid from the high class. That's the story,
mm,
and yeah, it's exactly there's where I was going. The Socrates trial and everything, and the way that, they decided, you can choose, poison, or you can choose something more public, but you are going to die.
mm,
So obviously he takes, the poison, and he is about to die. He takes the poison and he starts, talking with Antisthenes about the whole story and
mm,
the realization that life is meaningless, because it's not what you do every day that counts, but the virtue that you bring to the world through your acts that actually will remain. So you existing is meaningless, your acts are the meaningful ones. That's the basis of,
mm,
what will later be taught on the White Dog, the Cynos, that is the gymnasium where cynicism
mm,
starts. And yeah, at the beginning, the high class knew perfectly that young people were being used for this. They had a temple where young girls will just sit and
mm,
wait, while they are virgin, will sit and wait there for some older man to come and pay them so
Mm.
they will prostitute themselves for the first time of their lives.
Mm.
And that was a ritual. So basically was in the name of a goddess and everything. And young boys will search for rich old guys to be in that kind of relationship,
Yeah.
and was part of the high class. The issue is that Socrates got with a boy that was from the high class that should not be on this kind of dealings. And that's why he is discovered and trialed and everything. So
So he
it
transgressed against class
exactly.
more than
And
yeah.
the point where that happens is the point where society thinks, oh yeah, those are kids. That's the moment where the Greek
Mm.
actually start thinking on, well, yeah, those are
Well, it
not,
gets back to the informed consent and
yeah. And
uh,
we are kind of on that moment of history where we realize, oh yeah, Hollywood was doing all that, but those are kids.
Hollywood is notorious, has been notorious for that since its foundation,
Yep.
as indeed were the prior acting fraternities in the theatres and music halls of the previous 2 centuries before that. Um, and now we're seeing not. When you look at some of the current advertising campaigns that are getting called out, this the Balangensia or whatever they call it.
Balenciaga.
Yeah, and now the latest one, which we've seen images today of kids with the top, no clothes on and red paint over the. I can't remember the name of the
It
fashion
goes,
house.
yeah,
Yeah,
it goes from way, way back,
yeah,
and it's not Balenciaga and those brands that started that. Look for American Apparel.
yeah,
That is a brand that will never go down on the United States because even Canadian brands are using their
yeah,
textiles. American Apparel, a lot of their commercials were basically naked
yeah.
girls.
And it's yeah, and indeed, fashion in general over the
Hmm.
decades has used extremely young girls, models as young as 12 or younger even.
Hmm.
And these are the big fashion houses, and these are the Vogues and the other magazines of that kind. And they saw nothing wrong with it, but we would look at it and say this is ridiculous. You're
Yeah, but
taking a 12-year-old girl and you're
mhm.
having her naked on a catwalk in front of dozens of adults. This is just to sell some piece of overpriced crap.
Yes.
Um, it's
As Dave
a
was saying,
decay.
Fortnite is paying everything that they
Mm.
um, are told. Well, you are doing illegal stuff. Pony up,
But
and they are, well. Here's the money. We
but
will keep doing it.
it's funny how they're getting called out, but there are many others doing things that are as bad or worse, and they are not getting
Hmm.
taken through the system. Why is that?
Because there's powers that want some crazy stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just that moment when they realized uh, they have a screw up, and people started to notice what they were doing, that they
Mm-hmm.
kind of started to try to change. And I will say it as somebody that has worked with Google on the removal of content. That is something that I will say is really necessary, because
Mm-hmm.
what I have seen that Google blocks should be blocked. I will tell you, a lot of what I saw during that time is, if somebody tells me that humanity is rotten on the core, well, yeah, I will say you are completely right, because I have to
Yeah.
see that to ban it.
And I don't want to get entirely blackpilled, but there is a substantial strain of humanity which has got no moral compass,
Yeah.
and it's always possibly always been that way. I don't know. I mean, who can look back into the Neolithic past and know what humans how they behaved? I suspect they didn't quite behave in the way they do now because they were smaller, more tight knit groups. clans or tribes, and maybe they did behave that way. I don't know, but there is a rotten streak. I don't want to black pill everybody. There's a rotten streak there, and it's not getting. It's just trying to normalize that rotten streak. That's the problem.
Yeah, they will not manage to do that.
I hope not. Sincerely hope not. And then at the same time, though, that stuff goes on, and yet on the other side of the coin, you can't have an adult woman wearing a low cut top on a film because it might be the male gaze is horrible. You know, they're taking away the normal attractiveness and sexuality of humans, whilst at the same time there's this undercurrent that's covered up and hidden and supported of evil, truly evil shit. So yeah.
They need to
However-
look. Yeah, they need to look back at Japan, man.
Yeah. But I don't want to black pill everybody.
Yeah. No,
'Cause
I
that got pretty heavy pretty fast. But to go back to an earlier point, Leon may not be a good example, but you mentioned the Karate Kid. There's a great example of a fantastic mentorship, responsible relationship between an unrelated adult and child.
yeah.
Which is
Also, Dragonheart and movies like that
Yes.
actually portray the
hell,
mentor
even Star Wars in many ways.
Yep.
Certainly
Obi-Wan
for the first
Kenobi.
3 movies, and
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah. You know, that's portraying responsible, mature adulthood and protection of children and so on that shouldn't be discouraged, although that stuff seems to be seen as persona non grata in Hollywood now. Can't have strong adult relationships to look up to, particularly if it's males, you know.
No, that's why I say they need to look back at Japan, because Japan kinda accepted a lot of their flaws, a lot of their craziness, but they are using it in other ways. First of all, they are legally setting up stuff to avoid any real incident. For example, on Japan, in the constitution, the legal age is 13. 13. But each prefecture can decide by themselves the legal age. So there's only one prefecture that allows the 13 age, as the constitution says, and all the others go from 18 to 21. Right? And the only one that is allowing that kind of stuff is under the control of the Yakuza. So figures why.
And not many people are arguing with them. Yeah, it's interesting because, and I'm not making moral statements or judgments either way here, but in history, the human race certainly wasn't as long lived as it is today. I mean, the average age lifespan now is in the 70s or whatever. If you go back 500-600 years, the average lifespan of a male or female adult was something like in the 30s.
Yeah, 200 years ago, 45, 800 years ago,
Yeah.
you will go to 35.
So naturally, when children became past the age of puberty, let's say it was 12, they only had half of their life left.
Yep.
Most of them, if they were in from the working classes, if you want to call it that, the lower classes. So getting married, especially for a girl, then would have been an imperative to get married to some guy that would support her. Let's say he was a farm worker or a miner or whatever, and have kids, because they didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah. In the Bible, the Virgin Mary was 14 and she was getting old.
Yeah. So that's not I'm not making any kind of moral judgment or statement on that, but lifespans were shorter and the imperatives were different, and we cannot judge the past on today's standards, which is what we always do, of course.
Yes.
And, oh, well, they should never have done that in the past. Well, you go back 500 years and tell them that, then, you know, people thought and did
The
things
thing
differently.
that, yeah, the thing that they are not taking into account that is really important is that childhood now is extended because you have the
Yes.
protection of your house. You will
Yes.
still be on your house. You will have to go to a school still because university, college is a school.
Yeah.
You are
Childhood
still a
is
kid. You are,
extended. Yeah.
yeah, you are treated as a kid. The access to phone you have is something that if you were 12 on the Middle Ages, you have no access to fun, you have no access to anything. You need to
There
drink
was no
alcohol to have fun,
no
and you
concept
need
of
to work.
fun,
Yeah,
really.
that's life. Now if you are 24, 25, you are still thinking like a kid. And I say
Yeah.
it because I'm from the generation where that start to be really, really obvious on the millennials, because millennials go for more childish endeavors. Up to, I will say, up to the 30s, they are still looking for ways to be a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can say that a couple hundreds of years ago, these people will at 12 be ready to have kids. If you
And
go to now, they are 30 and they still can't. They cannot handle their lives. That's the difference. They cannot be
yeah.
alone and take care
And
of that.
there's many philosophical arguments to say that it's a good thing that because we're living longer lives that childhood is
Yep.
extended and those children should be protected. I think it would be there are certain societies on the planet Earth today that still have, you mentioned the Japanese thing, that still have a much younger age of consent than Western societies. Um, I wouldn't argue, I'm not here to argue the merits of either one, other than to say that there are historical reasons that that may have existed. But I'm not
Mhm.
saying it's right in
Oh,
this day
even
and
in
age
the
because it's
US.
21st century now, and I think children need to be protected because childhood, as you say, is longer,
Yep.
and there's no imperative for a 12-year-old to get married or start having kids, and absolutely shouldn't be. They shouldn't be in a position where they have to. Unfortunately, in many parts of the world, people are still poor and probably still have to do
How
things like that.
many 12-year-olds today have had to fight in a war, have had to kill their own food, have had to bury their parents?
Yeah, indeed, have survived through a plague or
Yeah,
or a invasion by a horde of Vikings. Let's say if I take
that if
East.
you go to the Middle East, their civilization right now is extremely unstable. The lifespan is extremely short, and the level of violence is extremely high. So you could still see why they are going for a lifestyle more like the old school lifestyle, that you need
Mm.
to marry young, you need to procreate as much as you can because your kids will die. That's other reason why they needed to marry young. You need to be able to have enough kids. If each year you can have a kid and you
Yeah.
live 15 years to have 15 kids, at the end of your life, you will have 5 or 6 kids that are still alive.
Oh, that's right. It used to have big families because kids didn't survive. I
They
mean,
died.
even
Everybody died.
yeah, the sort of era of my grandparents, great grandparents, they all had big families, but they didn't all survive. You know, they'd maybe have 12 kids, but maybe only six would make it to adulthood in the
Mhm.
1800s. You know.
Yeah, but adults in the Western world right now live up to 75, 80 easy.
I damn well hope so.
Well,
I'm
I
counting on it.
actually will
I've got plans.
I will rather die young, or well, not young because I no longer young, but I will
You're not young
rather
anymore, mate. Yeah.
don't live
The only Die
that
Young
long.
I want is the Black Sabbath song Die Young. That's the only one I want.
Yeah, I will say just because I don't have that much to apport to the world after one point. After that, I'm completely useless. As my Japanese teacher used to say, I don't really care. I will not commit suicide, but if a plane falls into my house and kills me, nothing was lost.
But that, I mean, billions upon billions of humans have lived and died before us. Most
Yes.
of them unremembered. That's just the way of the natural world. So I think the trick is to enjoy ourselves while we're here, and if you leave a legacy in the children that you nurtured and brought up well, that's the best you can do, I think, or indeed some other kind of legacy like that. But it doesn't matter because you'll be dead anyway.
Mhm.
It's oh my god, we're getting black-pilled again.
No,
I don't know. I
I,
think that we what we're seeing here is, to me, there's a difference between the historical imperatives that caused families to people to have kids young because they lived short, hard, and brutal lives, and today where we're seeing where we don't need that, but we're seeing children being exploited by ruthless and perverted adults.
yeah,
It's
which
big
sucks
difference. Big difference.
because there's something really important about being able to have kids when you are young, and that's the cultural connection that you will have to your kids, especially now that the culture changed that fast. If you have 15 years of a separation between you and your kids, you may actually have a chasm, culturally speaking, on what they see in society and what you saw on society and how you think everything should work. So normally you will say that around 25 years old is the perfect, culturally speaking, for the development of that connection between your culture, what you know of culture, and what your kids will know of culture. 25 years is the appropriate. But when you are 25 in this current civilization, you are still going to college, about to actually start life, and you need at least 10 years to be stable enough economically to have children. So you have those 10 years of
Well,
separation
there is an
extra.
awful lot of older parents now.
Yeah, that destroys completely that connection, and that's why kids don't understand that their parents. This civilization changed too fast, too
Yeah.
quick, and
So,
yeah.
what's it going to be like when life extension technologies become more prevalent? And instead of living to 75, people live to 175. We don't know yet what the societal
Yeah.
impact will be of these things, but it's going to happen. If it can happen, if there's any technology can be invented by humans, it will be used.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people working on that stuff now. I mean, even without specific interventionist technologies, we all live longer lives just because of better drinking water and food supplies and medicine and whatever. Imagine what happens when they finally figure out how to, well, you know what? We figured out how we tweak this. You can live to 175. You can live to 275.
I don't think people should live that long, and I will just say it. There's a point of your life. I have my family is really, really long living. They will die really old, and they will last a lot of crazy shit. For example, I have had people in my family go to 106, 110 years, just because why not? They just live long, right?
Yeah,
But
I have, well, like my father lived to 95. My
dude,
mother will be 90 next year. So there's
yep.
some longevity in my immediate family.
But there's
On my
Mhm.
yeah, my mother and father's my father's mother lived to 95. So there's some longevity
Yeah.
there. So
I don't know if you have seen this on the people that you know that have lived that long, but there's a point where they actually get bored.
yeah, but if you're living to 275 years old and you are physically fit and have resources, which is what the rich are all looking for, of course, is life extension technology, then I don't know if you would get bored.
No, it's not the body, it's the mind. And that's why they do everything. The rich people, they do all those crazy stuff because they are bored. Internally, they feel empty.
Well, they should have a bit more self discipline then and apply
Yes.
themselves to something useful.
So living a long life, if you are falling into boredom, I cannot imagine how terrible will be.
Mm.
So I will
But
rather die while I'm still having fun than be bored and hating the world. That's
I don't know. I think if they, do you know what I would think would be something I would be all for? It'll never happen in my lifetime. Is if
Mhm.
I could download my entire
Oh yeah.
consciousness into a machine, and then they just fired that off into interstellar space, heading somewhere, and I could fetch up as a robot on some planet
Yeah.
many light years away. I think that would be kind of neat. Travel the universe.
If I could travel the universe, yeah, that's completely different. That's having
Yeah,
fun.
as a robot
Mhm.
body or mind. No physical being as
Yeah.
such. Um,
But talking about having fun, we have had a lot of fun, to be
we
honest.
have. It's
Yeah.
been awesome, mate. It's been good.
I just want to do something else before we go because I have wanted to do this, and this will be my final Christmas present opening. Although this
Do it.
was not part of Christmas, but I have been waiting like almost 6 months to open this. So I will send a copy of this part to Retro Dicky because he
There's
sent
that
me
handsome
the
guy again. Why are
yeah,
you
he
not on the
sent me
camera?
the Doctor Who toys.
Oh, nice. Let's see that.
And
Let's put that round the other side of the mic again so I can see it.
oh,
Bring it. Bring it. Oh,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
around
okay,
there.
okay.
That's it. Yeah. Okay, so we got
The
Hartnell
Sensorites and the first.
and Hartnell. Yeah.
Yeah. How if you haven't seen this episode, interesting things. Now
Yeah.
it's canon that the TARDIS can withhold a full army. The Sensorites destroyed the keyhole for
I,
the
I,
TARDIS with just a machine that does.
yeah. I
That's it.
have seen that one
Yeah.
at VHS. Well, the
Oh, I
remaining
have
bits
it
of it.
on the best quality that you can get. That is not really great,
It's
but
not great.
is good
Don't.
enough. And also, this is the first time that Gallifrey is actually mentioned as a place, not the
Right.
name of
Right.
Gallifrey, but Susan has a conversation with Barbara when they are on the Sensorites planet, where she describes Gallifrey as a red planet with silver forests.
Interesting.
Is the first time that we hear about how Gallifrey looks like.
Yeah, and
And
yet,
so,
did we see that in future interpretations of Gallifrey when the Doctor was actually there?
yes, after,
Uh,
well, the whole Baker era, we see Gallifrey as that. The current rendition
Right.
of Gallifrey on the 2005 series is that version of Gallifrey.
Mm.
And if you see during Pettigrew and, well, the time before the fourth Doctor, you already have a lot of mentions and you get the name of Gallifrey. So,
Yeah. You know
yeah.
what I think, though? I think in later years they overused Gallifrey too much. I liked it better when it was a mysterious place that the Doctor
Mhm.
wasn't able to go to because wherever he was on the run or hiding or on the
I
lam, as we'd
hated
say.
I
And then,
hated that part of the third Doctor, him being grounded on Earth and only being able to do the missions that the Gallifrey Council sends him was really stupid. I think the fourth being able to roam freely and actually
well, he
having
should be able to
a
roam.
Gallifreyan companion on Romana worked better.
The one thing that did do, though, was it allowed a lot more usage of unit and some recurring characters there, which became very popular. But yes, the Doctor should never be confined. Let Keep that there. I'll be back in 20 seconds.
Okay. I'm just showing off. By the way, the Sensorites, one of the fun parts of the episode is the use of, because every single one look exactly the same, these bands. I will actually, first Doctor, I hate the second male companion because it's boring. I think Ian is way better.
Back.
Ian Chesterton is the best companion that
You liked
I
Ian,
have.
yeah?
Yeah, because the second one, the one with the teddy bear, the panda teddy bear,
Oh yeah.
the one that they rescue when Barbara and Ian go back to Earth on the Dalek time travel machine.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
that's.
I'm glad you shared that because that's beautiful stuff.
Wait, I'm
That's nice.
liberating the First Doctor.
Yeah, don't break anything. I love
It
William
won't
Hartnell.
break, but it will pull. Okay, let me pull
Yeah, you gotta get that,
this around here, around.
Talk
There
about
you
the
go.
Doctor being confined.
Well, is this the Pandorica?
Well, indeed. Could be. He's stuck.
Yeah, the Pandorica was designed just to do that, just to
Yeah.
keep the Doctor completely immobilized
right.
and frozen in.
So you
Okay.
finally got him out. There we go. Such a
This,
dignified guy.
yeah, this is my favorite Doctor of all time. My
That's interesting that Hartnell's your favorite because there's probably very few people would say that in this day and age.
Yep. You know why I love him so much?
No, just tell me, mate. Tell me.
He actually understands a level of humanity that I don't think many doctors after him have understood. I will say the 11th. The 11 actually understand the same. Humans are just stupid apes, indeed, but they have potential and they can do wonderful things.
Yeah, and the Doctor saw that in
Yeah.
humans. That's why he liked
When
Earth so much.
when they are in the cave of skulls, when they are with the caveman, the conversation that the Doctor has about fire, and is actually Ian Chesterton, the one that completes the idea that everybody should know how to make fire because then nobody can control you. That is anarchism. That is the real definition of anarchism. Uh, is not I want to rebel against the state because the state is evil. Is if I can do the same as every other person, there's not need for an state because we can all
The
help
state
each
cannot
other.
control you. You can survive without it.
Yep.
So I treated myself just before Christmas because my wife and I have been together for so long. We don't buy each other presents, but I bought something for myself.
Oh, wait, that is the reconstruction of a live action episode, right?
Yes. So this is my favorite Doctor. The first one I remember watching live on television as it happened. Not now this episode, not this story, but the later one with the Yeti in London Underground is the first one I remember watching. I did watch these, but I was so young. I was like 3 years old. I wouldn't remember.
You don't remember?
But I would watch them, and like everybody said in the day, Doctor Who was so scary. You'd hide behind the couch if you were a kid, and just peek out to watch it because it was so scary. So that's what my parents said I did. But oh,
Yeah.
But so the later one with the Yeti in London was the first one I recalled specifically watching on television. So I got this because this is the first time you see the Great Intelligence and the Abominable Snowmen. So this is a great set because it's a 3-disc set. You've got the entire story animated in color, the entire story, or you can watch it entirely animated in black and white, and you can watch the one surviving original episode, which is episode 2. So you've got 3 ways of watching it. Plus the commentaries that they've got, like Fraser Hines and Deborah Watling doing the commentaries and stuff. It's brilliant.
They kind of brought back this idea for the Christmas special where Clara dies. Yeah, it's basically the same idea of having that ability of controlling snow, but it's weird. But then you got right before the regeneration into the series.
Sorry, say that again, mate.
You say you got into the series around this era, right?
Yeah, so the first story I distinctly remember watching was the Yeti in the London Underground. So the follow up to this one, the second time you saw the Great Intelligence and the Yeti, and that was the first episodes that Nicholas Briggs was in.
Wait,
But this
then
is
yeah,
the earlier one. I must have seen this as a kid, but I don't remember watching it. I've certainly seen, well, I've read the book since, and I've seen the one surviving episode, but this is the first time I've seen it because it's animated now. First time I've watched the whole thing ever, you know. But when
yeah.
this came out originally, I would have been about 4 years old.
This is season 5 or 6.
Oh God,
Because I'm pretty sure this is before the regeneration, so you should have actually seen a change of the Doctor in your era.
the first regeneration I remember, of course, is 2 to 3.
2 to 3,
try-
yeah.
yeah.
So
And I was
this will
extremely excited because it was like, oh wow, we're going to see this thing. You know, then I would be about 7 years old. I may have seen the Hartnell Troughton one, but I would be too young to remember it.
so this yeah
was
this
born
will
in
be
63.
around. So you saw the War Games.
Yes, I did. I was
Nice.
watching it, and so everything from
Dude.
the Yeti. I can't remember that it was Doctor Who and the Yeti, or whatever the one in London, the London Underground, where the Yeti was, is the first one I remember watching. I watched others because I was told I watched them, but that's the first one I remember sitting around. I was frightened out of my wits. And then, so everything after that I watched, some of which I remember now, and others I was like, but by the time the War Games came on, I was completely into it. And I was about
Dude.
7 years old, and I was heavily into science fiction already. Because don't forget, by then I was already watching Star Trek as well. Star Trek original series,
Nice.
series. I was watching The Prisoner. I was watching stuff like that. And I was only 7, you know, that's what was on then.
By the way, this can destroy the force field on the TARDIS and destroy the keyhole.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
so
that now. Yeah.
this little thing from the sensorites can actually, I think later they started using more the force field around the TARDIS, and for the era of Baker, they actually stated that the TARDIS will hold a lot of.
The Web of Fear is the first one I remember watching. So I'm going to get any version of that I can now as well, because it follows up. It's got Travers, Professor Travers that was in this is in that. The Yeti and the Great Intelligence are in it. The Web of Fear is the first one I remember. And I distinctly remember the Yeti coming out of the London Underground. And I was a kid, so it was the trope was you would hide behind the couch when they heard the music, because Doctor Who was going to be frightening. So I used to go and hide behind the couch, and I'd look out like this. You know, that's what kids did, little kids, when Doctor Who was on. You'd hide behind the chair. And I remember the Web of Fear left a big impression on me. So I wanted to get this so I could go back and see the first story
Yeah.
that the Yeti were in. And when I watched this, I mean, the animation's great, but when you watch the actual surviving episode 2, it was really well filmed. Like a lot of it was on film as well, not in the studio. A lot of it was on film, on location, and it had really good production values for a cheap TV show. You know,
Even before that, there are some episodes that are missing, but the arc with the Chumleys from the first Doctor, you see the camera angles that they were using. You see the way that they were doing the props and everything.
yeah.
For something of that kind of resources, they actually did crazy cool stuff.
Well, a lot of the stuff that the Troughton era was filmed at, a lot of it was filmed at Ealing Studios, as well as some of the cheaper stuff in BBC's own studios. But they did location filming, and they used Ealing as well a lot. And they had the DPs, the directors of photography, were all guys that were working on quite major British films as well. So they did have a lot of quality guys working on them. They had very low budgets, but they did the best they could with what they had. And it actually doesn't look that bad when you watch the surviving episode of this. It's beautifully filmed. I mean,
Yeah.
in black and the black and white actually, it's so great watching the black and white because that's how I first saw it in black. First color one was the first John Pertwee. That was the first color
Mhm.
Doctor Who. My God, it's in color. Now that one was weird because a lot of that um the first John Pertwee story was all filmed on film. Then they went back to filming them in the BBC studios. So it was a weird one that one was all filmed.
It- Isn't that when they tried to do the Dalek invasion of Earth second take?
Oh God, yeah, there was a Dalek invasion of Earth in John Pertwee era. I remember them all frozen in some big cave waiting to be
No,
thawed out.
I mean the movie.
Oh no, well the two movies, the Peter Cushing,
Oh yeah,
movies,
yeah, yeah. It was Caution.
they were
You're right.
made in they were made in the 60s and they were in color, so they had a
Mhm.
big
Yeah,
advantage
yeah.
over the show. And I watched. I didn't go to the cinema to see those, but I watched them on TV. They came onto television pretty quickly, and it was weird because they were watching. That's not Patrick Troughton. It's a different guy playing
No,
the Doctor.
it's even weirder because you actually had that arc happen with the first Doctor, and that's when he leaves Susan on Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it was weird looking back at even seeing it as a current day fan, let's say. Well, I'm more 2015 and then the series kind of died kind of fan. But uh, still, having that opportunity of seeing those episodes and then seeing the movie was kind of weird. Really,
it's
really
weird.
weird.
It's like
Yeah, why they
I
are doing this again?
yeah, like, and it's they're taking the same story, but they're making it into a color movie and whatever.
And it lacks Ian, it lacks
Of course, Terry Nation was a big part of that because he owned the rights to the Daleks, so he wanted a couple of Dalek movies, and he saw those more as Dalek movies than Doctor Who movies.
mhm.
So, because he was making that was his thing, he was the Dalek guy, and he made money out of them, obviously. But they were actually pretty good. I mean, they were well filmed. I liked Bernard Cribbins as the companion, who's a great British comedy actor, who died just this year, I think. Bernard Cribbins, or died
Really?
recently.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
Man, that's sad.
so he had those Doctor Who connections because of the movies. He wasn't in any of the TV shows, I don't think. Well, actually, he ended up in Doctor Who later, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So Bernard Cribbins was in the. I think was he in the movie? Or am I thinking of? Maybe I'm getting confused here. Roy Castle. Roy Castle was in the movies. Maybe not Bernard Cribbins. Bernard Cribbins was in Doctor Who later.
Wait, I have
Cribbins
damn,
was
I will
in.
have to rewatch a lot of
It was Roy Castle, who was another well-known British TV actor and personality who played the Doctor's companion in the movies. Not Bernard Cribbins. I'm getting mixed up.
I launched the movie because I thought it was the old movie,
Oh no, he
and I was
wasn't.
like,
Sorry,
wait,
Cribbins was in the movie. He was in
Yeah,
Doctor Who, Dalek Invasion Earth 2150 AD. Roy Castle was in one of them. Bernard Cribbins was in one of them. Yeah.
I have to fix the because I have everything in folders separated and quite organized. But I click on the movie and I was like, wait, this is the 90s movie because it starts with the narration of everything started in Scarrow. And by the way, what the hell was doing the master in Scarrow? Is he an complete retard? Because the master was hated by everyone at that point. Why you will go to Scarrow unless you are trying to fight the Doctor? But the master knows that the Daleks will not help him. The movie is
Well,
weird.
it is weird, yeah. But the two 60s movies weren't bad. They weren't bad.
Yeah,
They were okay, but yeah, Bernard Cribbins was in one of them, and then went on in 2006 to be in Doctor Who. So
there you
he
go.
had
I
a
have
history.
the
Yeah,
66 movie. Okay, it will be the 65, 66 movies, the ones that.
yeah. But they
Yeah.
they were actually pretty well made.
Regal Films International Limited.
Yeah, budget for Invasion Earth, £286,000, which in the 60s actually wasn't bad. That was a good budget.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be equivalent to maybe a 5 to 10 million
season.
budget now.
Yeah, but it is like half a season to a full season of the series.
Yeah, that's a good budget for a British movie.
Yeah,
So in those days, but
and color.
yeah, those were good. I remember those. There's a lot of great actors in those films.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I need to
but
rewatch them. But
this is
brother,
my Doctor.
dude, it has been great to have you here. It has been great to just chill and talk about crazy stuff.
Sure, we'll do it
I
again
want
soon, mate.
to, yeah, I want to thank you, and I want to say Happy New Year. We are a couple of days, but Happy
Happy
New
New
Year,
Year to you,
and
mate.
dude, it's always great talking to you.
Yes, yeah, well, this is long overdue, mate. We've
Yeah,
been meaning to
man,
do this for a while, so it's great hanging out with you, and we'll definitely do it again.
we will.
Yeah.
We will do some crazy stuff.
And if
So,
you're not busy on Mondays at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, you're always welcome on my show, you know.
dude, I put your show on the background, and I actually listen it like radio. My brain still loves radio. That's why
Well,
podcasts are so enticing to me. I love radio.
well, next Monday's show is going to be about Canon movies. So, you know, the Canon movie
Okay.
studios. So all those great movies they made, those guys, crazy guys made, Golan Globus, whatever their names were. So that could be a lot
Didn't
of
they
fun.
didn't they work with Woody Allen at one point?
Oh, they worked with just about everybody. Yeah, the Canon movies they did. They started way back in doing stuff like Runaway Train and
Mhm.
movies like that. Joe was a big movie for them. Then they moved into the more of the sort of Jean Claude Van Damme type
Oh,
stuff.
just wait me a second. Before we go, bump a second.
Yeah, Canon. So Monday and 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Dave and anyone else that's still out there, just we're gonna do a Canon movie special on my show. That's gonna be fun. So I think they did the Death Wishes, and I mean, there's just a huge list of movies they made. I'm talking more of the Golan Globus era, which is 79 onwards, of course. Oh, wow.
Dave, this is the Spider-Man toy, and I actually show it on last Friday's episode completed. But yeah, man, we stayed assembling this, and it's really freaking
Very
cool.
nice.
This was a $4 toy, and since I was up, I got my He-Man. So
Oh yeah, cool.
yeah, and actually I already set him on a post and everything, so he is on my collection back there. But the fact that the face, and this is what made me purchase, is the face from the original figures, with the movement on the hair and everything. This is what made me decide, because if this was a recreation of the toy with significant modifications, no longer cool. But this looks, with the exception of it can bend the elbows and everything, but the fact that it looks like the old school toy makes me
better
really
quality.
happy. Yeah. So yeah, I have a He-Man now. I have waited. This collection stopped being made at 88, the year I was born. But in Ecuador, the series started airing at 95, and it
I
went
remember.
up to 2005 in TV. And this toy I wanted since I was 3, in 91, when in El Salón del Juguete, a store that no longer exists,
Mm,
they were the last to sell He-Man toys. And I wanted it. And then they stopped selling everything. And I never got a He-Man, so this is epic for me. It's
cool.
something stupid cheap, but makes me happy.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
for you, mate. That's nice.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a little He-Man in their lives. well,
Well,
we used to. Maybe not
yeah.
the He-Man now, but
Fucking Kevin Smith.
She-Man. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's
Brother,
been awesome, mate. So I really happy New Year to you. I hope you have a great New Year. And we'll do this again very soon. And if you're not busy on Monday,
I
we'll
will.
do Canon. Got the Golden Globus era of Canon. So lots of Death Wish, lots of Missing in Action, all those other great films that those guys made. You know, with American Ninja, Delta
Yeah.
Force.
American Ninja was a stupid one.
First Blood
Terrible
Part
movies.
2, you know, there's going to be all sorts of just that kind of, it's that kind of 80s vibe if you think of it. You know,
Yeah.
Breakin' and Electric Boogaloo and
I think the last few movies that actually
Hercules.
hold that style are things like Universal Soldier and such that they still remember to have fun during the movie.
Cobra. That's another Canon Golden Globus era movie. We're going to talk about all those movies, and I'm trying to line up a couple of really nice guests for this with the help of Tom Connors. So, who
Ooh,
I hope
Tom.
will be on it too. Tom's helping me try and get a couple of really knowledgeable guests. Because
That would be really fun.
I might not have all the knowledge. I certainly I like the movies, but some people have got the knowledge.
Mhm.
Anyway, thanks to everybody in the chat as well for being here. Hope you all have a great New Year.
Yeah, everyone in the chat, Happy New Year, enjoy, and it has been great.
Catch up with you very soon, mate. So take care.
Yep.
Happy New Year to you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.